The serenity of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, belies the tumultuous season that is college football 2020. But if there's one constant when Georgia meets Alabama, it's the enduring memories we're left with that have become part of college football lore.
Alabama is the champion.
Your 2018 SEC champions come from Tuscaloosa. So tonight they meet again. Number 2, Alabama. Number 3, Georgia. A reality check in the midst of the most surreal of seasons.
Touchdown, George Pickens. Stokes, he's going to take it to the house. Touchdown. Oh, wow, what a play. Touchdown, Stetson Bennett.
Hello, touchdown, Alabama.
Jalen Waddle, touchdown. Touchdown, Alabama.
Better buckle up. It's not easy playing at Tuscaloosa.
And with that, we bring you the Home Depot SEC on CBS under the lights in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And our matchup, the game of the year so far, number 3 Georgia against the second-ranked Tide of Alabama. And as Leonard Skinner always brings us to Bryant-Denny Stadium, you don't want to go to battle without your top general. And a 5-star general, make it a 6-star if you count the national championships. Nick Saban will be on the field tonight leading his team against another former assistant in Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs. Welcome, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler. My partner is Gary Danielson. I know that you are chomping at the bit to talk ball, but you have to wait a minute because the biggest story this week has been involving the biggest name in college football, Nick Saban, and a person that spent more time with him than anybody in the last 24 hours is Jamie Erdahl.
I was recently having a conversation with a member of Nick Saban's coaching staff. I asked this person to best describe the head coach. He said Nick Saban can handle good news. He can handle bad news, but he doesn't like to handle surprises. Well, that's exactly what Wednesday afternoon brought when Nick Saban tested positive for COVID-19. The head coach was immediately sent home to self-isolate, but continued to run practices and meetings from the remote location. Alabama, in accordance with the SEC guidelines, secured 3 negative tests, all 24 hours apart. The final one coming this afternoon. I spoke with Nick Saban since he's arrived at the stadium. I said, Coach, did you have that good feeling in your stomach when you got back around your guys? He said, honestly, I really didn't. It was not a good feeling to not be around my players. Pretty honest moment from a coach who almost missed his first game ever in his 40-plus years of coaching.
Well, Jamie, we're glad, and we've got a good feeling because this is how we wanted it, Gare. All hands on deck.
Yes, and I think the happiest guy in the stadium is Steve Sarkisian. He can now just call ball and let the big guy make the big decisions.
Well, a contrast in quarterbacks without a doubt tonight. We've got a guy that's leading the country in pass efficiency. We've got another guy that's just happy to be here and making his first start on the road. Let's start off with Mac Jones.
You know, Mac Jones we knew was a good player, but he has become a star. I think he's the surprise of the SEC this year, the way he is playing. He really is in the hunt for all the awards. And if he's the star, what do you think that makes Stetson Bennett?
Well, he's probably shocked right now.
He is. He's in shock, and he has got the control of this football team. But Najee Harris, is the guy that makes this offense go for Alabama. Whether they give it to him or fake it to him, he makes it go. But they also throw to him. And when they throw to him, he catches the ball in a big radius. But what I love about him is he blocks. And when he blocks, good things happen for quarterbacks in any offense.
Well, you know, in practice, they call it ones against ones, best on best. That's what we've got tonight, strength on strength. When you look at these two teams, it's been remarkable what we've seen so far through 3 weeks. An Alabama offense that's #1 in the country, a Georgia defense that's #1 in the country. For Stetson Bennett, Who's he going to get help from
Yeah,
tonight?
you know, if Najee is the helping hand for Mac Jones, for Stetson Bennett, be patient. You've got an explosive defense that can give you that ball control with good field position. When Stetson's in there, a punt on 4th down is not the worst thing because he's got game changers on defense. They've got athletes all over the field, will be 15 or 16 different guys. They're athletic, and they can give Georgia that field position for a young quarterback making a start against a really good football team.
Well, the leader of that defense, Monty Rice, a little banged up last week. He had a fumble recovery for a touchdown. We'll keep an eye on him. The best against the best. Number 1 in the East, number 1 in the West, number 2 in the land, number 3 in the land. Georgia and Alabama set to do battle at Bryant-Denny Stadium as the lights begin to flash. The drama begins to build. And the Tide set to take the field. Nick Saban will lead him out. As Jamie said 3 days ago, that was a question mark. It is no longer. They've won 33 of their last 34 at home. Kirby Smart, another former assistant coach, hoping that his team can pick off the Tide in game 1 of maybe a 2-game series this year. Who knows? The 70th meeting between Alabama and Georgia. Here comes the Bulldogs. And now the home team, the 2nd-ranked Tide of Alabama. Biggest game of the year so far, about to kick off in Tuscaloosa. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Jersey Mike's Subs, Nissan, State Farm, and by Modelo. Well, we'd love to have 100,000 people here. That's not the case. But a 20% crowd on hand under the lights at Bryant-Denny Stadium. It is Saturday night's 70th meeting, and Alabama's won the last 5. Georgia, ironically enough, has won the last 2 here, the last time in 2007. Perfect night for football in Tuscaloosa. Georgia won the toss and deferred.
You have to wonder who's looking more forward to this game. Georgia, the way they lost the last 2 to Alabama, or the Alabama defense who got socked for over 600 yards a week ago.
Jake Camarda's got it teed up for the Bulldogs. Slade Bolden and Jalen Waddle back deep for the Tide. Waddle will settle under it at the 2-yard line. Dangerous return man. Trying to get to the edge. He's got great speed. He got across the 20, but they do drag him down at the 24-yard line. And that's where Mac Jones and Alabama will go to work. We saw Mac at the end of last year when he filled in for the injured Tua Tagovailoa, and he's become his own star now.
He sure has. You know, he's gone from everybody thinking that he was going to be a game manager to being a star and throwing the ball all over the field. He's got a lot of weapons, though. Let's just start with that.
Including number 22, Najee Harris, who Gary talked about, being kind of the... And that one's in the air. Is it intercepted by LeCount? I think he got it. Jones was hit as he threw by Ojulari. And Georgia's got the football on one snap.
Yeah, Azeez Ojulari, and this Georgia defense starts out the way they started the last game, putting pressure in the backfield. It was Tennessee last week. This time Ojulari gets inside and gets to Mac Jones. And LeCount, does he get his arms under it or not? I'm not sure he did.
We'll get a different look here. There's the big hit.
He cradled it, but I'm not sure that it didn't bounce. Let's get a better look at that. It's a big, huge play.
Going on the field was intercepted pass. The previous play is under review.
Miller Forrestall, the tight end, got bent backwards on the play, and he's still being treated.
Here's another look. At that point, it looked like he had it, but did it hit the ground?
I don't see any. Well, the ball bobbled, but I don't see anything to turn it over yet. Remember, it's been called.
Gene's Territories rules official.
That's on the ground. They're going to me. Well, I don't know.
Gene, what do you think?
It's a tough look right now. I haven't seen something that tells me 100% it's clear, and obviously not. This last look that we are looking at, it appears the football's on that ground, but we can't see the right hand, which may have secured that as he's gone down. Here's a good look now.
Yeah, I don't think his right hand was on it, though, was it, Gene? It looked like it was outside, and then he cradled it.
It does, Gary, but when we use words like we think,
correct,
or it appears,
right.
then we're hovering in that area where we've got to follow the replay law, at this point.
That's why you get the big bucks there.
Hey, Gene, we weren't planning on using you on the first snap,
I'm happy to be here, guys. I'm happy to be here.
If it is an interception, it would be LeCount's third of the year already. He's the leader of that defense back there, playing the spot that J.R. Reed played for so many years, and LeCount moved over to that spot. Those two played together for basically 3 years in the Georgia secondary.
Didn't think he had his right hand on it to me. It looked like it hit the ground to me.
I don't know if there's a view that can give us
that's right.
anything.
And Gene is the replay official. Are some more aggressive than others, or do they it's personality up there as well?
A little, but you remember when you're in replay, judgment, things of that nature, they go out the window. So as you're even being schooled in that, your directive is immediate to go to these absolutes when you are reviewing. And that's the standard you have to hold yourself to. Although frustrating at times, you've got to hold to that standard.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Intercept the ball, first down.
Richard LeCount with the interception.
So a play from a pass rush, play action pass. Azeez Ojulari forces the turnover, and Stetson Bennett is able to come out on the field with great field position.
Ojulari, who raised havoc with Tennessee last week with 5 tackles and 2 sacks. And he has the hit that produces the turnover on the first play of the game. And now Georgia takes over offensively, the Alabama 41. Stetson Bennett and company, an opportunity here to take advantage of a turnover early. Zamir White in the backfield behind Bennett. And now he'll come up to Bennett's right hand, play fake. Throwing on the run, completing to the tight end, McKinney. And Trey McKinney might have a first down on the first snap. Stetson Bennett, the fourth. Quite a story. Former walk-on in 2017, went to junior college, came back to Georgia, was 4th string, maybe even worse. And now he's a starter, and he is 2-0 as a starter, 3-0 if you count coming in to save the day against Arkansas. This is his first start on the road in his career. And he's going to throw in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, George Pickens. Pretty good coverage right there on Pickens.
Pickens is the 3rd highest targeted player for Georgia, if you include the tight end position as number 2. Karis Jackson is the leading targeted receiver.
Here's the offense for Georgia. Zamir White started the game at tailback. Kenny McIntosh is in there right now. Defensive lineup across the front, the linebacking core, and the back end DeMarco Helms in there for Jordan Battle, who won't play the first half because of a targeting call last week. Bennett across the middle, and we saw this last week. It's picked off.
Yes.
It hit an on-rushing lineman, and Aboigbe's got an interception.
Again, Stetson Bennett trying to throw the ball over the middle. And the Alabama defensive line gets their arms up and deflects it. Bad snap again to start the game for Georgia. It was a disaster last week and almost as bad this week.
DJ Dale got his big hand in the way and just about stuffed that thing, and then his fellow defensive lineman with the defensive lineman's dream, an interception. So we've got a turnover either way, and we're not even a minute into the game. Alabama from the 42. Najee Harris maybe got 2. Jordan Davis made the tackle. And with that carry, Najee Harris now number 9 all-time on the rushing list for Alabama, as he just has Forrestal, the tight end, being taken to the locker room with an ankle.
And that is a big loss for Alabama. He's their best blocking tight end. He is great on their counter game.
Here's a throw out in the flat to Waddle. Waddle weaving his way through traffic. First down. Almost busted out of the back end of that, and he would have been gone. As it is, first down, Jalen Waddle.
Every time you give the ball to number 17, he can take it all the way.
Hurry up here for Alabama. Play action. Mac Jones wants it all. Long ball, man there. Got him. Mechie, touchdown. "40-yard touchdown strike to John Mechie."
Mac knew where he was going all the way. Bump and run. That's the game plan for Georgia. He gets a blitz off the edge. Picked up the right protection for Alabama. They were ready for that short corner, and you threw the takeoff against the safety. When you have the right protection on, you know as a quarterback, I got exactly what I want.
Extra point is up. Been good. We expected some fireworks. I'm not sure in the opening minute and a half we expected 2 interceptions. The first one suffered by Alabama. The second one, Aboigbe. And then 2 snaps later, Waddle weaving through traffic. And on the hurry up, Mac Jones, John Mechie, 40 yards. Touchdown, Alabama. Tide leads 7-0. Stream CBS Sports HQ, the completely free and always on sports news network for highlights, breaking news, and expert picks. Download the CBS Sports app on your phone or connected TV to watch today. 7-0 Alabama. John Mechie, who we saw shine as a star in the first time we were here. Not a good kick out of bounds. That'll give Georgia some pretty good field position. Chase Allen on the kickoff that went out of bounds.
Receivers elected to put the ball in play at the 35-yard line.
The 35. Strength on strength. We talked a little bit in the open about this. Georgia's defense, number 1 in the country. The offense of Alabama's is number 1 in the country at 51 points a game, 560 yards. And Georgia just gave up 58 yards in 3 plays on the opening. I shouldn't say the opening possession. On the opening snap, they got an interception. But on the second possession by Alabama, they give up a touchdown.
You can hand a little bit of that to Steve Sarkisian, having his team ready for that corner blitz. They were ready for it. They picked it up, and they made Georgia pay.
Let's see if Georgia settles in now. Burton in motion. Going to flip it out to him. The freshman on the edge. And he only got about 2 yards.
So now what is going through Todd Monken's mind right now, the offensive play caller, as you see the flag is down, who's basically in charge of the quarterback? He's got a young quarterback, first time he's been in a game like this. He makes an early mistake. How do you get him calmed down?
Right.
Holding on the offense, number 10. 10-yard penalty from the previous point. First down.
Kearis Jackson's going to get the holding call out on the edge, trying to give his wide receiver pal Burton the corner, and there you see the hold.
Yeah, he was on Malachi Moore right there, number 13, and you know, when you try to do a little bit too much, big play just happens. Try to come up with a big play. Fundamentals important in these big games. Whoever does the little things the best usually ends up with the victory.
Georgia's the worst team in the SEC in penalty yardage. That was a big one. Here's a flip to Kearis Jackson. Jameer White trying to get a block for him. Got about 3 yards, and that's it.
Well, that was a really nice job by Josh Jobe that time, the outside corner. He would not allow the sweep to get outside of him. He kept his inside shoulder on the blocker and just kept stringing it out and stringing it out.
James Cook checks in for Georgia. Didn't play last week. They have their full complement of running backs for this one. The guy they'd like to get the ball in space. He's in motion. They're going to flip it out to him. Cook, can he find some blockers? Got a little bit. Still going to be 3rd down and long.
So if you look at this Alabama team, remember the dominance that they've been as Georgia's ready to go hurry up. But this year they have not been producing those quick turnarounds. Their 3-and-out rate, which we are so used to seeing them dominate games, just hasn't been the same so far.
3rd and 11. Bennett pump fakes, running out of time, and down he goes. Dylan Moses is there. Bennett slipped and fell anyway, and it's time to punt for Georgia.
So what adjustment did Alabama's defense make on 3rd and long? Watch them sit back. Got a man free in the middle. They're playing almost 3 deep. It's just a 3 deep zone. They're keeping things in front of them and not giving the quarterback the easy pick short plays to the receivers, making him hold the ball just a second longer.
Jake Camarda's been great, leading the nation in punting, but you got to be wary of number 17 on the other end, Jalen Waddle. Waddle backpedals. He's going to have to call fair catch. Good punt by Camarda to make Waddle take the fair catch back around the 22-yard line. 4 minutes into the game. Alabama at home with a touchdown lead. Alabama with its 3rd offensive possession. First one was 1 play and an interception. And those dangerous receivers, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, and John Mechie, who just caught a 40-yarder the last time they had it on their 2nd possession for the touchdown and the 7-0 lead. So the Tide works from its 23-yard line. Najee Harris straight up the middle, big hole, and the big fellow rumbling all the way out to the 40-yard line.
Cute little play this time. They bring the tight end in motion and then right isolation. Watch, little inside move, wiggle, and then follow the tight end into the inside to make a big running play right up the gash of this Georgia defense.
Stiff arm on Richard LeCount that got him a few extra yards out to the 40. Jones looks right, comes back to Najee Harris. It's batted down by Ojulari. Incomplete.
That's a great matchup. Azeez Ojulari against Alex Leatherwood, 2 stars. Number 70 right here against Ojulari.
Ojulari was actually named the defensive lineman of the week in the SEC, even though he's an outside linebacker. But
Alex Leatherwood says, I did perfect on that one.
Yeah, the guy's just fast.
He knocked down the ball.
Ojulari with a great game against Tennessee last week. 2nd down and 10. Najee Harris trying to bounce it outside, and this time helmet comes off. Scene has him wrapped up, and Najee will pick up his headgear. He moved into number 9 all-time spot by himself in the rushing list with his previous run. And you know who he passed? Johnny Musso.
There's a name.
Who was also number 22.
They used to run the wishbone when Johnny Musso was here.
Brian Robinson will take his place for at least 1 snap, and they don't lose much when Robinson comes in.
No, he's been a hungry ball carrier when he gets his chances to carry the rock.
Third down and 10. Here comes Georgia bringing the house over the middle. Caught on the run. It's Mechie again. Mechie trying to get to that first down marker is about a yard shy.
Well, Alex Leatherwood again picks up the blitz this time. A beautiful job inside. Watch Leatherwood sort out who he's got, and he picks up the corner blitz and allows Mac Jones to step up and throw that ball. Boy, that is good. And we all remember Alex coming in that national championship game, filling in with Jonah Williams, got hurt, playing left tackle as a true freshman in that game.
The offense kind of stood there for a second on 4th down and 2. And now the punting unit will come on. Sam Johnson. And they'll kick it away. Fair catch called immediately. Kind of a line drive down to the 15. Kearis Jackson will take it there. And Georgia will start there offensively. Richard LeCount, a big play on the defense so far, but the offense of Georgia hasn't been able to get on track yet. And now I'm going to do Project Smarter, presented by the Home Depot, Gary.
And what do we do? It's just like we talked about in the open. Use your star. This time you use him as a decoy. I didn't have enough time to talk about decoy with Najee Harris in the open, but they used him. Then they fake it to him to get the big play. And then the last time when they ran the ball right up with the ISO, Billingsley, the reserve tight end, comes in and gets a clean block, and he gets to the second level. The hub of this offense runs through number 22.
Very smart to use a guy that's in the Heisman hunt, or will be probably by the time the season draws to a close.
All of the passing game has been very short, short throws by Stetson Bennett, and they still have not been able to find a way to get George Pickens involved in this offense.
Zamir White hit immediately, and I mean down immediately. Byron Young hit him as soon as he got a handle on the football.
Well, remember, this is a defense that played 86 plays a week ago against Ole Miss. We watched the game with our jaws on the ground.
Yeah, we did.
Right? I mean, how could you not watch that Alabama defense? But I knew they'd be hungry to come back and atone for themselves tonight. They had to be ready to play.
Second down and 10, just outside the 15. No gain for Zamir White on that carry. They'll try him again, left side. This time he's got some room to run, and he's got a first down. Out across the 25. Best play of the night so far for the Georgia offense.
So that Georgia offensive line, they've got to step up and help their quarterback as well, and this time they do. They pick up the inside blocker, and Zamir White, who was nicked a little bit last week, we came to find out on that very first play.
Yeah.
He really turned it up with an aggressive run on that play. That's the best I've seen him look.
Had 50 carries on 50 yards on 22 carries last week. Boy,
another one
batted balls again.
Yep.
How many times did it happen against Tennessee? Like 3 times last week,
I think so,
right?
and it's already 2 in this football game. And remember this, when you watch this Alabama team so far coming into this game, their defense had 115 passes thrown against them, and they've only had 5 sacks. They really have not been putting the pressure on the quarterback, but that's just as good right there, and that's the second one over the middle. You got to believe that was coached all week, as many times as Stetson Bennett threw the ball over the middle last week.
If you can't get there, get your hand up. And DJ Dale has swatted 2 Stetson Bennett passes away so far. White to the 30. Bring up third down and a long 7. Gary mentioned earlier, Alabama's defense has had a hard time getting off the field on third down this year. They've done a good job of it so far. This time they have Georgia in a 3rd long.
So Brian Branch, another true freshman's on the field for Jordan Battle Knight now. He's the sub that is playing in this dime or nickel package.
Kearis Jackson in motion all the way across the field. 3 receivers there. Bennett looks that way, goes that way. Back shoulder. Kearis Jackson can't hold it. And it was double coverage back there defensively. Malachi Moore was there along with Brian Branch.
Okay, so against this Georgia offense, what does the defense dial up? Pete Golding says, I'm going to play a little bit more zone. I've got some young players in there. I'm going to drop 2 safeties and force this guy to throw the ball, knowing that there's safety help deep. They got to be perfect.
Malachi might have gotten a little shove in there at the end.
Well, they were fighting it off right there, but I'm saying the strategy is keep things in front of you. A little different for this Alabama defense.
And the strategy for Jake Camarda is keep it out of the hands or force a fair catch by Jalen Waddle. He did so last time.
What a punt. This one's returnable.
Waddle will take it at the 12. Made the first man miss. Flagged on, though. It's going to come back no matter what. There's a block in the back, and Waddle's got a great return going, but it's all coming back.
Yeah, and that's the one you don't like if you're a coach, because Jason Waddle is going to beat the first guy.
Right.
You know, you've got to just let him handle it. And Jalen Waddle's got to, you just let him go. Don't even touch him.
Patrick Surtain's going to get the penalty. They'll bring it all back. Ken Williamson's our referee. It would have been a 58-yard, rather it was 58-yard punt and a really nice return.
Back, receiving team number 2. Half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul. First down.
So we've already seen Mac Jones throw a deep ball, and he is good at it. Came into this game hot, and he has stayed hot throwing the ball deep.
CBS Sunday Night Movies are back every Sunday in October, and tomorrow get together for Ferris Bueller's Day Off. CBS Sunday Night Movies tomorrow on CBS. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jamie Rodahl, and our CBS crew in Tuscaloosa. Mac Jones taking the field, Garrett.
Yeah, here's what I wanted to talk about. Throws more than 15 yards down the field. He's already hit one in the game for a touchdown. Came into the game a 70% completion on throws more than 15 yards. 16 for 23, 5 touchdowns. Add another one for 6.
We kidded with him yesterday. I said, you know, you're almost at 80% completion. Can you at least warm up a little bit?
Yeah, not all of them those little gimmies either. Throwing the ball downfield.
Najee Harris bounces it outside. Richard LeCount trying to get to him. Doesn't. He's knocked out of bounds, but he got a good gain before Nolan Smith.
He has such quick feet, great vision. You know, when you try to tackle him up high, he runs over you. He leaps over players. We've seen him do that in the past. But watch his quick feet. LeCount is a great tackler, and he just kind of dives away from him.
Najee, who had a 200-plus game last week, and the victory over Ole Miss, and a career-high 5 touchdowns, tying an Alabama record. They give it to him again. Little hesitation in the hole, and he might have the first down. A little bit shy? I guess so. A little bit short. Julian Rochester brought him down that close to the first down marker.
I think Quay Walker, who's playing for Monty Rice in there, did a good job of turning Najee Harris inside, but as you say, pretty close to a first down.
2 tight ends in there. Remember, Forrestall went to the locker room. A little indecision about where everybody's lined up right now. 3rd down and a yard. Devontae Smith went in motion. The pitch came the other way. Easy first down. Nice move by Najee Harris to get it out to the 24-yard line.
So as good as those wide receivers are, when the Alabama offense is championship level, they're keeping you off balance with a great running back, eating up the clock, keeping their defense on the sideline, and they do it with the great backs we've seen here forever.
Hasn't been fun so far to watch 22 run and number 2 try to bring him down.
Well, LeCount is one of the great players we have in this league.
Right. Play action. Jones wants a big one again. He's got a man open. Went through his hands. And it was Jalen Waddle.
See, that's the tough part if you're a defense. When you throw off the play action pass, that allows these receivers to get 15, 18, 20 yards downfield. And you're right. I mean, that's a catchable ball. A little high, but that's what he does all the time.
Yep. And Forrestall's coming back out from the locker room, so that's a good sign. 2nd and 10. Harris hitting at the line of scrimmage, bounces off and got a couple out of it. Jordan Davis Harris got over there to help on the stop.
Najee Harris just keeps emerging as a running back, the center of the attack. When we were here against A&M, he had 12 carries for 43. He's already got 40 yards in this game, isn't he? Something close to that.
Got 39 on 7 carries. So 3rd down and long.
Big stop here for this Georgia defense. This is where they like you.
Jones got a little pressure, throws a one-hopper incomplete, and it'll be punting time for Alabama.
Exactly, the aggressive defense from Georgia. One of those guys from the outside is always coming. They bring another one off the corner. Mac Jones could feel it. Dan Lanning dials it up, and he could feel the pressure. He could feel that corner coming. He never got set up in the pocket.
Yep, couldn't get his footing back there, and knows if he had been able to step into the throw, he might have completed it. Instead, punting situation. Sam Johnson, the kick is not a good one.
Another bad kick for this Alabama kicking team. They kick off out of bounds and then basically shake a punt right there.
Yep, Georgia's going to have it at the 43 with 4:33 remaining in the first quarter. Our aerial coverage of tonight's game is sponsored by Goodyear. As you look in at the social distancing and the 20% crowd at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. Only a 30-yard punt. Georgia finally has some good field position. Whether they'll do anything with it offensively, we'll see.
They had it at the interception early in the game.
That's true.
They got that batted pass for an interception, but this is part of the game plan. If you're playing for Georgia, the defense has to help the offense.
They shift the tight end, Kenny McIntosh, in the backfield on 1st down. He'll get the carry. Out about 4. Christian Harris in on the tackle. Georgia trying to go tempo, Gary. It's really not their forte.
No, but after watching the Ole Miss tape, it's hard not to try it, right?
Yep. McIntosh again puts his shoulder down, and he's still going. Into Alabama territory, the 45 on a Georgia 1st down.
Yeah, and that's what Todd Monken has to kind of balance here. He's got a quarterback, who started the year 4th or 5th string. His 3rd start, but tempo gave Alabama problems. How much do you use it?
Here's a play fake and a deep sideline to Kearis Jackson and a diving attempt, but he couldn't hold it.
I think they're still discussing it over there, Ness.
Unless he had possession and then dropped it out of bounds.
You're right. They're calling it incomplete. They kept talking about it. Really good throw, good coverage, great effort, and the ball comes out.
There's a great look at it right there. And you see it starting to pop to the sideline.
And roll out.
Side judge right on top of it. Waited and then made the call. 2nd down and 10. Kendall Milton in at tailback for Georgia for the 1st time tonight. And he'll get the carry. Straight up the middle. And the freshman still going all the way down to the 21-yard line.
Really nice design on this play. Watch the crossing tight end come across and kick out right there and run right behind him. The linebacker overruns the play, and they gash the Alabama defense.
We saw Milton have a good game last week, and he just ripped that 1st carry for 24 yards.
Give that one to that offensive line for Georgia, though. They gashed him on that play. Well designed, and you just run the daylight on that one. There was no reason to veer.
1st down at the Alabama 21. Milton again. This time he has to work hard to earn a yard to the 20. Will Anderson, the 1st guy there to meet him.
So now the tight ends. How do you get the tight ends involved back in the passing game for Georgia? Alabama's had trouble with them this year, and Georgia has 3 good ones.
That's John Fitzpatrick right there, number 86. The other one's a huge freshman in Darnell Washington, number 0. And they are both out there, one to the right, one to the left.
There's Washington, Fitzpatrick.
And Zamir White in the backfield. 2nd down and 9. Play action. Bennett down the middle and into the end zone and out of the hands of Jermaine Burton. Would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, it wasn't a perfect throw, but one that you hope your receiver can help save the day. He doesn't want to leave him too far. but he could have made the catch for a touchdown. As a quarterback, you feel that safety over there, and you want to throw it in the hole, and Burton sliding, could not save the throw.
Stetson Bennett knew or thought he had a touchdown. Instead, he's got a 3rd and 9. Play clock down to 3. And they might take a timeout here to try to save a play.
Timeout, Georgia.
Kirby Smart comes out to call the timeout with 2:29 remaining first quarter. Let's take you back to a play that could have made it 7-7. And for our AT&T 5G pylon cam, Jermaine Burton, the freshman, not quite. But Georgia's got another shot here on 3rd down and 9.
You know, you can't blame the receiver, but you hope he bails you out on that throw. It's just a little late and a little behind, obviously.
They've only targeted George Pickens once so far here in the first quarter.
And so far, coming off the edge, Will Anderson, 31, has not been able to make an impact, and he is their best pass rusher.
Pickens is to the top of your screen. The throw comes back to James Cook. Cook trying to get to the first down and did. To the 10-yard line, James Cook out of the backfield. Dylan Moses brought him down, but Georgia moves the chains.
And he is their best receiving back. He was injured a week ago, kept him out of the game. One-on-one, gets to the edge, and Moses cannot save the first down. Good call, good throw by Stetson Bennett.
Well, Georgia's going to have to earn it. 1st and goal, but it's right at the 10-yard line.
At that double tight end look at the bottom down here.
Zamir White, the tailback. He gets the call straight up the middle. Zamir White, touchdown, Georgia. 10-yard romp. And we're a point away from a tie game.
Well, that Georgia offensive line needs to take credit for that one. First of all, they picked up a good pass rush on the play before to throw the first down, and then running right at the Alabama defense. They block them over. I think it was right behind Ben Cleveland, number 74.
Jack Podlesny in for the point after. Tie game in Tuscaloosa.
So I suggested it was Cleveland. It was also McClendon. Watch 74 and 70. Just take the double team and push them out of the way, and that's where the gash happens. Also, the tight end, Darnell Washington, did a good job of sealing off the play.
Capped a 57-yard march in 8 plays. Zamir White from 10 yards out. We're tied at 7. JB and the guys get you ready for all the day's action with the NFL today. Noon Eastern on CBS tomorrow. I'll tell you the highlighted game after Jake Camarda's kick. And Alabama will start at the 25-yard line. NFL today tomorrow. JB and the guys, and then the main game is a big one. Cleveland Browns against the Steelers. Jim, Tony, and Tracy will have that one for you. The last time the Browns were 4-1, it was not when Gary Danielson was playing. Nick Saban was the defensive coordinator for Bill Belichick, the head coach of the Browns. And that'll be fun to watch tomorrow. Baker Mayfield and the Browns playing very well, and the Steelers are, well, they're Steelers.
I think the way Nick was at Toledo, then he went to Cleveland to be defensive coordinator, and then to Michigan State.
Right.
And we all know the story from there.
Here's a crossing route. And it was Devontae Smith's first time to touch it today, and it's a first down out to the 37. Devontae Smith, who had 13 catches last week for Alabama. There's Forrestall, the tight end, who was shaken up earlier. Went to the locker room, back out there now.
And Steve Sarkisian told us he's one of our most valuable players.
Says he's kind of the glue.
Absolutely.
There he is in motion. Into the middle of the pile, and still backpedaling for a first down is Najee Harris.
And what they like about him is he finds his block when he moves. Watch what a good job he does. It's basically an isolation. Number 87 is going to go in motion, and then he fits his block and allows Najee Harris to go right off the backside of him.
So a first down out at the 47-yard line. Alabama equal pass and run combination so far. Mac Jones going deep down the middle, just over everybody's arms. John Mechie, the intended receiver, and Georgia had a guy out there that almost got a hand on it to try to pick it off.
Yeah, I think Mac Jones is very fortunate on this throw because he did not know what was happening downfield, and this could just as easily been picked off by Stokes.
Under a minute to go, first quarter, and second down and 10. Georgia with that shift on their defensive front. Brian Robinson on the run. And when he gets in, he wants to make something happen so he can get more carries. And he got it into Georgia territory at about the 47-yard line.
But the Georgia linebackers do a good job of coming from behind this corner, counter play, and making it. Watch this, come from behind, he sees it. Watch Nakobe Dean, sees it, goes behind it, and almost makes the tackle.
At the 48, Najee Harris trots out as a wide out to the top of your screen. Empty backfield. Jones throws complete. Mechie, no, he dropped the ball. Incomplete. Had his hands on it, couldn't hold it.
Well, one of the strengths of the Georgia defense is they really have three corners they love. This time it's Tyson Campbell, number 3. He gets beat inside, but he stays with the play. He doesn't give up on it. He keeps fighting, and from behind he kind of rips the ball loose. Good play by number 3, Tyson Campbell. He, Stokes, and DJ Dale, 3 really good SEC corners.
Punt is a wobbly kick. Fair catch taken around the 14-yard line by Kearis Jackson with just a couple of seconds remaining in the quarter.
Well, I think some of the good news for this Georgia football team is how they've been running the ball. Remember, they've had one big sack, but they ran the ball for 49 yards already in this football game. When they run it, they're a good offense, just like the Alabama team. I didn't know if they could. They struggled last week running the ball against the Tennessee defense, but so far so good. This Georgia offensive line has stepped up.
There's the Georgia ground game in the last 3 years. There have been some great tailbacks mixed in there over the course of those 3 seasons. Right now it's Milton, the freshman, in there. McKinney, the tight end, on the move from the 14-yard line. Final play of the quarter. And it's Milton. He got about 3 to bring the first quarter to a close. End of the first quarter in Tuscaloosa. Tie game with number 2 and number 3 in the country, 7 apiece. We'll return to Tuscaloosa after this message and a word from your local station. Set to start the second quarter of the Home Depot SEC on CBS from Bryant-Denny Stadium. Tie game between the number 2 team in the country, Crimson Tide at home, and 3rd-ranked Alabama. You're looking at a beautiful night in Tuscaloosa. So Georgia with a second down and 6 to open the quarter. Their own 18-yard line. James Cook in motion out of the backfield. An empty set now for Stetson Bennett. Bennett going to go deep. Man's there. Got him on the run, and it's James Cook, and he is gone. Touchdown, Georgia. 82 yards.
When Cook motions out and sets up, right away Stetson Bennett says, that's where I'm going with the football. Because I'm going to go deep. It's one-on-one to the outside. He's got a matchup he likes. He's got Cook on an inside linebacker, Christian Harris, and he throws to the right guy. Give that to the coordinator. Great design play. But right away, I think the rule was for the quarterback, if that linebacker goes out with our running back, that's the matchup to attack. And they did for a touchdown.
But Lesney's extra point is good. And Georgia strikes from long range. The first receiving touchdown of James Cook's career, and it was a big one, Gary.
Yeah, it's a very tough matchup. You've got an inside linebacker matched up. Alabama has been very conservative giving help, but this time they went man-to-man, no help deep. Almost a hit on Stetson Bennett, but not in time. Dylan Moses got there just a half step late.
Stetson Bennett will say, you can hit me all day long if I can get that ball out to number 4, which he did. And James Cook with great speed. Nobody was going to catch him. And Stetson Bennett's family enjoying the moment. Well.
So you start talking about, oh, this Alabama, they're really playing it soft. They're playing the zone. They're making things happen in front of you. One time, they go man-to-man, and Georgia was ready for them.
The quarterback comparison. We talked about the contrast. A guy that's been there and filled in and done that, and then a guy making his first start on the road, and he just lit it up for the Bulldogs from long range, and it was a perfect throw.
As soon as number 8 ran out there, you got to know Bennett was going, Coach said, throw it to him. And that's exactly what he did.
Kick will go out, and Alabama will start at the 25-yard line. Welcome back to the booth. Well, you know, first snap was a disaster for Alabama.
Right.
Third snap for Georgia was a disaster. Back-to-back interceptions. Then everything sort of settled down until a second ago.
You know, Brett, I had a great coach, Ted Marchibroda. The late Ted Marchibroda used to say is, be patient with your adjustments. That's a long game. Don't panic. So early things happen, but just stick with the game plan. And Georgia has stuck with the game plan, and it has paid off.
Let's see if Alabama can answer now as they work from the 25. Forrestall in motion. Mac Jones, the play action. He's going to zip it down the seam, and it's complete. And it's a first down out to the 42 to Devontae Smith.
So now you wonder if Alabama starts to say, well, we thought we might be able to keep this into a low-scoring game and control the ball. Or does Stark start saying, all right, I'm going to start faking and I'm going to start winging it.
And you score 51 a game on the average. We'll see. We got a long ways to go, but Alabama trailing, which isn't something they're that used to. Pickup of 17 on that throw to Devontae Smith. That's Mechie in motion. Mac Jones looking for more. Throws and caught. Wow. I didn't know if it was going to be an interception or a reception. It is Mechie with the catch.
I think it was Devontae coming back for that. Devontae Smith was at number 6, I think. He does a great job. He's downfield. He's right there.
Yeah, you're right.
And watch him come back for that football. Almost intercepts it. The Georgia player.
Tyreek Stevenson has his hands on it, too.
I know. Now that is a receiver you love to throw to. A guy that will come back and catch that ball like that. You throw it, you go, oh, that's a big guy.
Just like that, Alabama at the Georgia 45. Jones pressured this time. He's going to throw at the very last second without getting across the line of scrimmage. And Ojulari was putting the pressure on number 10.
That's the balance that Sarkisian has to play with. It's not just scheme that this Georgia defense puts pressure on the quarterback with, you know, complicated blitzes. They're tough to block one-on-one. That front and their outside rushers, they're very skilled. They've got a lot of them. They stay fresh and they stay hungry to chase the quarterback. So you got to stay in balance against that ball-hawking defense.
Najee Harris goes out to the top of your screen as a wide receiver. Jones, a quick slant complete. Devontae Smith again, another first down. Seam drops him. And they'll move the sticks again, and it's the Devontae Smith drive right now.
Devontae Smith was basically a superstar as a freshman, and he's still the hardest worker on the team.
Jones, play action, getting some pressure, and they just lob this one away.
That might be intentional grounding right there. He was in the pocket. I don't know if it crossed the line of scrimmage, and I think he was saving a sack. This one could cost him.
He might have a delayed flag. We'll wait and see. Herring and Ojulari were putting the pressure on him. There's nobody home out there where he threw it.
I think that was intentional grounding.
Intentional grounding, offense number 10. The penalty will place the ball at the spot of the foul and includes a loss of down. Now second down.
Nobody knows intentional grounding better than me. I was a great intentional grounder.
As you saw, Nick's not too happy about it.
Never gets outside of the tackle box. And Gene, easy call?
Yeah, and you know what? It's a collaborative call because the officials that are covering the receivers, the referee may not know there's no one there. So he has to have some communication from other officials, and that's what they did, and they did a good job of that.
And Nick Saban almost needed to be tested again on the sideline after that call. Here's a swing pass out to Waddle. Made a nice move to cut inside.
This Georgia defense can run. Monty Rice is back in the football game. Talk a little bit about him being hurting, but on that play, I think he is the one who rushes the quarterback and then runs out there to help on the tackle.
He had a great game last week, season high, 8 tackles. Had a fumble recovery for a touchdown, a strip sack, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, took it in himself from 20 yards out.
Good day's work.
Yeah, it was. Third down and a bunch for the Tide. Got to get all the way to the Georgia 23. Jones sets down the middle, complete, well short of the first down, and a flag down as well.
Well, the matchup out there was Eric Stokes against Devontae Smith. 2 future NFLers out here tonight, battling. Well, it's a tough play to get a penalty on right here. Flag went down. If it was on Stokes, it'll be an automatic first down.
Holding against an eligible receiver, number 27 of the defense. The penalty is 10 yards from the previous spot and includes an automatic first down.
And you called it, Gary.
Well, that's a matchup. It's an future NFL matchup. Devontae Smith, number 6. Eric Stokes at the top of the stem, and he grabs his shoulder pad, and then he lets go and puts his hands up. See that? But watch Smith come back for the football, make the catch. Would have been short for a first down, but the penalty on 3rd and very long gives Crimson Tide a first down.
3rd and 19, and a penalty for a first down. So the first down's at the 33 of Georgia. Alabama trailing by 7.
They're going to get Najee Harris involved here, aren't they? Let's see what they do. Yes, they did.
Here he comes. Down he goes. Picked up 2. Mac Jones through 7 career starts. Look at the numbers. It's pretty good.
We saw this yesterday. We've been here 2 days, but it seemed like a long time with this night game. But we saw that. I was surprised.
Harris bounces it outside, and Monty Rice isn't going to let it go. Tried to stiff arm Monty Rice, and he hung right with him, and he's short of the first down by a couple. Monty's going to come out, but he made the stop.
In and out of the game. Here he is right here. Bounces off a block. It runs him down.
Alabama with a little tempo going with a hurry up, and it's Forrestal who falls down, but he's got a first down.
That was a really good catch on those short passes. The receiver does not have a lot of time to adjust to the football. It was a poorly thrown ball, and he makes a good catch on it. Seemed like he tweaked his ankle there again, didn't it?
It looked like something was a little different when he fell down.
He's still out there, though.
2 tight end set, in fact, at the 21. Harris. Najee down to the 16.
Previous play when he caught that ball, had to spin. Oh, you see that left ankle, he twisted it.
He's still out there.
Yep. He's limping off on this play.
Check in with Jamie.
Well, for Miller Forrestal, when he went down earlier, it was the right ankle that he went off with. So not good news if he's relying on that left one a little bit more.
Second down and 5. Brian Robinson. Ooh, man. Somebody put a lick on him as he got to the 14-yard line. You could hear that one way up here. Trayvon Walker.
Kind of the old Green Bay sweep. Pulled both guards and could not get that crease inside.
Here's the biggest third down so far at the 10-minute mark. We're still back out there, bad wheels and all.
And I don't think they got Jalen Waddle out on the field and they wanted him.
One of the trots out there, but let's see if they get set in time. Georgia trying to change up their defense as well.
I think Alabama's going to take a timeout here. This just for this important of a play. They
Alabama
ready.
First timeout this half.
9:41 remaining in the half. Timeout Alabama. They trail by a touchdown. Oh,
Holy cow.
shocker going on at Florida State here. 14-7. Georgia 3rd down and 3. Alabama after the timeout. Mac Jones pumped down the middle and is going to go down at the 15. Georgia comes up with a sack. Jermaine Johnson.
Trying to get the ball inside on a slant. Let's see what happens. Mac Jones is going to send Najee Harris in motion, trying to get the slant to the top of the screen. Eric Stokes does a great job of cutting off the throw and force Mac Jones to just eat it.
That forces Will Riker to take the field. He's 2 for 2 on the year. 33-yard field goal attempts. Riker's kick is up and good. So Alabama looking to tie it, but they have to settle for 3 at the 9-minute mark. Georgia on the road with a 4-point lead. Alabama with a field goal. Caps a 60-yard drive, but they were looking for a touchdown.
And they were going to go to Smith. Right here is where they tried to get the ball to. And watch how open he is. He's got a matchup that he wants. He's got Nakobe Dean, number 17. And Dean does a really good job of forcing the quarterback to pull the ball down. Nakobe Dean, an inside linebacker on a receiver, did a nice play.
Considering on that drive, Gary, they had a 3rd down and 19 and got a 1st down by penalty. Georgia, that's a win for their defense.
Absolutely.
To force a field goal.
Anytime you can, when Alabama gets in that red zone with their firepower out at wide receiver, you hold them to a field goal, you're coming off the field with congratulations.
Reichard's kick. Fielded at the 5 by McIntosh. Whoa, man. Hello. At the 22-yard line, Brian Branch with the hit. Let's check in with Jamie.
Well, the Bennett family continues to make memories at Georgia football game, but this time with one less little guy in the stands with them. Well, it's because their little guy, Stetson Bennett IV, is now the quarterback for Georgia. His father tweeted this photo today from the last time they were in Tuscaloosa, October 2002. Had to point out that the Dogs won that day, but that is little Stetson Bennett IV in his daddy's arms. A wonderful photo. I spoke with his family earlier today. All smiles, the fact that they're back in Tuscaloosa. What a road it's been. Mom Denise told me that sometimes she has to pinch herself during the week knowing that her son is a quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs.
There's Mom right there holding on to a family member in the stands. And James Cook, who had a...
Look at that line just carve out yards inside against that Alabama defense running right at him. You know, we saw it last week with Ole Miss running right inside. DJ Deal gets blocked. Great job inside. Trey Hill, Justin Schaefer, just carving out a 1st down run of 5 or 6 yards.
Cook stays in, 2nd down and 5. Burton in motion. Cook again. Be 3rd down and a couple. Now, over the years, so many years that Alabama's had a dominating defense. And you can see over the last season and this season, things have changed a little bit. Nick Saban's very aware that the days of holding everybody to 9 points a game probably isn't going to happen
That's
anymore.
the point. And when, the offenses he had with Tua, people are going to play up-tempo and throw a lot of points at you. So it's just a different way to measure good defense. But it's not good enough tonight. Not yet. They're being gassed inside in the running game.
Bennett lobs one, got it complete, and it's George Pickens for the 1st time with a reception and a 1st down.
If they can keep George Pickens patient against the zone this time, he's matched up inside in a matchup zone against the inside backer, Dylan Moses. If Pickens can stay patient, he can be very valuable.
Pick up at 19, Bennett's going to run this all the way. And got about 6 before he's run out of bounds. I was going to say if they can keep George Pickens from doing something stupid, that would help too.
Well, you're right. We did see him do something stupid, but I also saw him catch, the MVP of the Sugar Bowl. Didn't he have a?
Yeah, 12 for 175.
Exactly. He's got a lot of talent. They got to find a way to keep him in the game even when he's not being thrown to all the time.
We're talking, if you missed it last week, the infamous water bottle drive that cost Georgia basically a touchdown. Bennett, quick slant. Kearis Jackson couldn't quite get to it. Here's what we're talking about. Some of the things that George Pickens can do despite his elite talent as a wide receiver. Jarrett Garantano going out of bounds, and George decided that he might need to be watered. And that was a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. One play later led to a Josh Palmer touchdown reception. And there you go. But he's a big timer when he's got his head in the game. Third down at 3. Number 3, Zamir White in the backfield with Stetson Bennett. Down the middle, complete. Fitzpatrick, the tight end, on a first down.
So you have time to throw the ball because Alabama's starting to bring people. Watch Cleveland, number 74. Looks up, nobody there, and takes the outside rusher to clean the pocket for the quarterback to step in and throw.
And now Bennett off the RPO, trying to get it to the outside to Burton, incomplete. Nice play out there by Josh Jobe in coverage.
I get the feeling for the Georgia football team is they just enjoy playing for Stetson Bennett. They like the guy. They like his moxie. They like the way he stays in the pocket. He occasionally scrambles. They just like their guy, and that's half that position. You got to have your guys believing in it.
The big play of that yardage you saw was an 82-yard pass play to the guy that's in the backfield with him right now, James Cook. Kearis Jackson's been his favorite receiver so far through a month this season. This one is Cook. And James Cook moves it down to the 32-yard line.
Another zone drop for that Alabama defense. They got burned on the man-to-man play for the touchdown. They dropped back into zone on that play. Now they come in with their dime package.
Georgia with a 3rd and 5. Came in 46% on their third down conversions.
Without Jordan Battle being out there, they bring in another 2 freshmen. That's bunch back there.
Bennett throws quickly and had it batted again. McIntosh probably would have had a first down had he been able to get it to him. Christian Barmore, I think, got a hand on that one.
That's been really, when Bennett hasn't been throwing it over him, he's been getting it batted down. Players are open, but he couldn't get it to him. Nice deflection.
Jack Podlesny last week became an instant sensation as a kicker for Georgia. Good for 34, 47, and 51 last week against Tennessee. He'll try this one from right about 50. And he got it. How about this guy? You take over for a legend in Rodrigo Blankenship, and he says there's nothing to this silly game.
Rodrigo who is what he says.
So Georgia tacks 3 to their lead. They're up 7 with 5:42 to go in the half. 17-10, Georgia leads Alabama with 5:42 remaining in the first half.
It's really my favorite part of these games. A really important drive for this Alabama football team. Remember, Georgia gets it for the second half.
Yeah.
A stop here could really tilt this game. It's how you handle these last 4 or 5 minutes in the first 4 or 5 that are really key.
Leslie blasts this one out of the back of the end zone. As Alabama takes the field, we have time to test your knowledge with our Aflac trivia question, which is, Alabama's won 27 straight games versus the SEC East. Who coached the last SEC East team to defeat the Tide? Let you know before halftime. Robinson, the tailback. Play fake. Mac Jones wants a bunch. Going deep. Out there and caught. Jalen Waddle with Monty Rice all over it. Well, that's a mismatch.
Well, they're playing zone when Waddle crosses the formation. Rice runs with him. It's underthrown, and that's as good as Rice can do on the play. It's just Jalen Waddle going up and making those plays, as we said, we're used to watching him play.
38-yard pickup to the Georgia 37 in one quick snap. That's Waddle in motion to the slot. On the left side as Jones is looking for more. Crossing route complete to Mechie. And Mechie's forward progress gets him to the 35.
Here's that matchup we were talking about. Alex Leatherwood, the left tackle. Good job. Watch him give the quarterback. Just plant, and run his guy. A good guy, Ojulari by him. And Monty Rice got beat on the last play, and he's in coverage, and he makes the tackle on this play.
Good football play.
You bet it is.
Second down and 8. Forrestall is going to settle in and now continues to move and lead block as Robinson goes down. No gain. Ojulari made the first contact.
Ojulari and Monty Rice were both there forcing that bounce out that time, and that's that Georgia defense. They're so good against the rush. It's been a long time since a running back has scored against this Georgia defense.
Last year it went forever before somebody got in the end zone. Najee Harris checks back in on a third down and 9. Georgia shifting on their defensive front. Jones, deep drop. Directs traffic and then throws a strike. Complete to the 20.
Boy, I'll tell you, anytime I had a problem, or I the first guy's not open, I'm looking for Devontae Smith. Because this guy comes back to the ball as good as anyone you've ever seen. He senses where to go, and watch him come back and bail out the quarterback again. He's covered, he's open. He makes himself open. A future star in the NFL. He's already been a star for his third year in college. 5
catches in this half. Back to the ground game. Najee Harris wanted to bounce it outside. Still got 3. He is a load.
He is, but Lewis Seen, number 16, comes up as fast as you can and makes that tackle very cleanly. When I talked to Dan Lenning about his defense, I said, who do you really like back there that we don't talk about enough? And he says number 16, Lewis Seen.
In the red zone, Alabama with 3 minutes and change remaining in the half. Jones fires to the corner. Devontae Smith, touchdown Alabama. Sixth catch of the night.
So there's different ways to run the wheel route, and this time you run it from the slot. Watch the wheel route by Devontae Smith right here. Wheels to the flat, cover, aggressive, right by. Beautifully designed play.
That capped a quick drive as Devontae Smith continues to move up the career touchdown reception category. He's second in line. Boy,
wouldn't be a bad offense every other play just to look for number 6 for Alabama, wouldn't it?
Tie game, 3:06. The Devontae Smith drive. Capping a 75-yard march. It's 6 plays, and number 6 gets it in the end zone to tie it up. All right, Zook, thanks. 3:06 remaining here in the first half. Tie game now after the touchdown toss to Devontae Smith. And Will Reichard will kick. Kenny McIntosh and Zamir White are back deep for Georgia. And this one taken just outside the 5 by McIntosh. Kenny McIntosh. Nice return out around the 33-yard line. Georgia will work there with just over 3 minutes to go in the half.
One more look at the touchdown. To run a wheel route, you have to have time. Watch this Alabama offensive line work together. Dickerson, Ekiyor, And at the end, Evan Neal, watch him pass out, work as a unit, shove him down, and at the end, Evan Neal blocks to the outside. Those are great pass rushers for Georgia, really athletic guys, and that unit up front gave Mac Jones time to hit the wheel route to the outside.
Big fellas average about 334 across that front. Now Georgia's got 2 timeouts remaining and 3 minutes to work here. Pretty good field position at the 34. Play fake. Stetson Bennett all day. Zips it out to Pickens. Pickens wheels around and got a first down, I think. Didn't look like he was going to get more than 4 or 5, but he did.
Well, we saw George Pickens in the second half of that SEC championship game. Remember, he was suspended in the first half, and he put on a show, and you can see the elite talent he has right there. He's out there watching Devontae Smith, and he goes, let me do it. I can do that too.
Got it outside the 44. This might be a free play. Stetson Bennett in trouble. Got away, and now he's going to run with it. And kind of an ugly slide, but he got a first down. I think it would have been a penalty on offsides on Alabama.
Well, you were right, Ness. One of the Alabama players was in the neutral zone on the play. I think it was Young, number 47. And then Bennett comes to the end of the play, and he kind of gets clipped from the side right when he was trying to get down. But a very positive play. They got 2 timeouts and plenty of time.
Here's a call.
They're going to decline that penalty.
Right.
Offside. Defensive rating 4. That penalty will be declined. Second down.
So Georgia and Alabama territory at the 46-yard line. That's something Stetson Bennett gives him, Gary, that, you know, Jake Fromm early in his career did more of that, but then as Jake got older, he's like, I don't need to run.
Yeah, it just seemed like they managed him a little bit, coached him maybe a little too much to stay in the pocket, and they kind of lost that aspect from the offensive and the quarterback spot.
Now it's Zamir White, and he's got a first down, and he's still plowing his way forward to the 42.
That was a great run, because I thought Dylan Moses had him in the backfield that time.
And again, Georgia comes up to the line in a hurry as they move the chains. It's going to be right outside the 42 of Alabama. Bennett going to go deep. Overshot his manager, Lane Burton, and Patrick Surtain was back there in coverage. Coming up, Adam, Rick, BJ will have first half analysis and highlights from around the country on the Geico halftime report. As them told us, a surprise going on in Tallahassee right now. And there were some surprises. I don't know if anything surprised the SEC or in college football, man. It's 2020. I don't know.
Count me not surprised.
Kendall Milton checks in to the Georgia backfield. Demetrius Robertson is in a slot to the right, and he's coming in motion back this way.
Number 80 for Georgia fans, playing 80 tonight instead of his normal 16.
Milton. The 39, maybe the 38 at the 2-minute mark. Kendall Milton, who was the leading rusher for Georgia against Tennessee with 56 yards on 8 carries last week. And he's getting more and more time. They think highly of him. Comes out right now, but he's had a good first half again. James Cook back in.
The edge rushers for Alabama, they've been knocking balls down, but nobody's been getting in there and getting that clean sack off the edge. It'll be Anderson and Allen, number 31 and number 4 from the edge.
Here they come after Bennett. He rolls to the right, throws on the run, and he threw a strike to George Pickens.
What a play, because this time it was a 5-man blitz, and Bennett felt the pressure coming from this side. 2 linebackers, ends up being 5. He feels it, instinctively runs away from it, and delivers it.
And a 19-yard pickup to Pickens to the 20-yard line of Alabama.
He knew he wasn't protected. That's a smart quarterback. He got him out of play, and as the coaches say, he just makes us go better at quarterback.
First and 10 for the Dogs with 1:16 remaining in the half. Bennett looking for more down the seam into traffic. Whoa. There were 2 or 3 defenders around there, and Burton was the intended receiver.
Alabama very, very fortunate here. No one covers James Cook going outside to the outside right there. Look at that, a complete bust. Nobody covering the running back. And if he's throwing to him, he walks into the end zone. If he'd stayed in bounds.
Right. Sure he would have if he had caught the ball.
Exactly.
Second down at 10. Stops play momentarily with 1:12 to go. Georgia well in field goal range. Bennett's going to run it all the way. Got a blocker in front, and McKinney, he let somebody have it out there on the corner. And you're right, I think. Nice block by the tight end and a good gain by Bennett.
Well, a little nosy at defensive end that time for Alabama. Number 31, Will Anderson, just runs for the inside fake. There's nobody really to block outside. That's who they were trying to hook. But 31 ran right away from the play. Got to stay home. You got to see who has the ball. And that's how the defense broke down on the play.
Biggest third down for the Bama defense right here. Third down at 4.
You can still call anything you want. 2 timeouts, you can still run the ball if you want to here.
From the 14, Cook in the backfield with Bennett. Alabama going to bring extra bodies. Bennett throws complete to Burton, and he's got the first down.
Good, nice job by Burton. A true freshman that time. He realizes as he catches the ball, his best chance for the first down is to spin back inside. Watch him catch it and spin back inside. Wonderful play.
So again, for the second time, it's first and goal right at the 10-yard line for Georgia. And got a timeout. Georgia's gone 56 yards in a couple of minutes. And with 56 seconds remaining in the half, we've got time to answer our Aflac trivia question, which was 27 straight against the SEC East. Who's the last SEC East team to beat the Tide? And who was the coach? The old ball coach, of course. And there was the final from Columbia back in 2010, 35-21.
It was Stephen Garcia, Marcus Lattimore, the running back, and a really important player, Elshon Jeffrey, to the outside. Those one-on-one plays, who's a similar player to George Pickens. Attack that bump and run to the outside with a tall receiver.
They're reviewing the spot on the last play. Burton's feet got inside the 10, but maybe they're looking at whether the ball did. I thought it was for sure first down as he spun back inside, as Gary talked about. Right there, his feet are at the 9.5. And the linesman was right on the line as he came into.
Yeah, I think his forward progress got over it, and I don't see anything there that can overturn it. See, I listened to Gene one time. I learned.
Gene, what do you see?
After further review, the receiver was down at the 10.5-yard line. That's going to be 4th down and 1/2 yard. Ball in possession on the right hash.
Holy cow.
Here I had him at the 9.5, and he's at the 10.5.
I know. I'm surprised there. I didn't.
Gene, let's let you finish
Guys,
your comment.
I think when Burton pivot, when Burton spins out, the right knee hits the ground before the ball gets to the 10-yard line. We see it on one of the ladder angles, but if you watch this play right there, you see the right knee hit the ground. And if you go back and see that from the sideline, you'll see that the football is short of the 10-yard line when that knee contacts the ground.
I didn't see that the first time or the second time, Gene. Thanks. So now, 4th down and inches. Lanier White is 215 pounds of tailback.
And Kirby said last week, if we can't make short yardage, we don't deserve to win, right?
Yeah, but he tried Stetson Bennett in his own territory, and that didn't work. He tried Zamir White at the goal line, and that didn't work. Let's see who's going to be the ball carrier this time, if there's going to be one. So at the 10.5. 4th down and a foot. They flip the tight ends to the right side. The power is that way. Alabama, did they jump in? Bennett was hoping so. No call. Play clock down to 5.
Looks like they're just going to try to. Holy cow.
That time they did jump in.
Again? I don't think they were going to snap the ball.
Bennett with a hard count twice. First time didn't work. It looks like
Offside. Defense was 58 by contact. 5-yard penalty. No result.
That's
First down.
hard to believe.
Christian Barmore bit the second time.
Well, especially after Alabama got away with the first one. Georgia points the first time, but the second time it's offside. You can even see the Alabama players saying, come on, no. Bennett points to the first one and it doesn't happen, so he's all right, I'll try to draw somebody else off, and he does.
And that's first and goal, just inside the 6. Burton in motion. Play action. Bennett lobs, man open, and he missed him. And it was the big tight end, Darnell Washington. It was just too deep. He was open.
He had him open, right side of the line. Washington goes to the outside. He's wide open. Settle, settle, settle. He kind of runs away from the open area there. Bennett thought he was going to stop, and Washington continues to go to the corner. No one's fault, really. You got a young player who's probably told to go to the pylon, but doesn't feel that space that Bennett saw to throw to.
As you look behind Bennett and Zamir White, second down and goal. 32 seconds remaining in the quarter. Play action. The lob this time is too high for Burton. Well, Stetson Bennett's had some balls batted down, and I think he's a little bit rattled down there trying to pinpoint his receivers in the end zone who are open.
Really had the play they wanted. The Alabama linebackers had bit up on the play. A good throw is an easy touchdown.
He knows it. That one just really took off on him. So that's third and goal. Georgia has scored on their last 3 drives. 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
Now remember, they could go to Pickens out wide here and just lob it up. They got a nice matchup with number 1 to the outside bottom of the screen down here.
And Georgia's going to take a timeout. Kirby Smart upset with his offense about something. Knowing that a touchdown here would be huge going to the locker room. They're obviously in field goal range.
Well, they got an easy extra 3 plays, missed 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, they sure did. Had them open, had what they wanted. Around the SEC, we talked about some surprises. Big win for Will Muschamp in Columbia today. How about Arkansas? Nobody expected them to be quite that good, huh? Tennessee got routed at home. Texas A&M. 2 weeks in a row looking pretty good with a win over Mississippi State.
A&M playing solid ball. Arkansas playing solid defense again today.
You can't get any tighter between number 2 and number 3 right now than what we have. But Georgia looking to change that here in the final 28 seconds. Third and goal. Down the middle. Touchdown this time to Burton. Jermaine Burton with a touchdown.
Didn't miss that one, did he?
No, he did not.
It's the play everybody runs. You kind of bend your receiver out a bit and then go to the middle of the field. Pre-snap look, there's no one there. You want to throw the ball in the middle. Like, nobody there. That's the area you want to attack. Burton goes out, gets his defender on his outside hip, and a well-thrown ball.
Was it ever?
So you get 3 strikes, right? Missed on the first one, missed on the second one, and
threw a home run ball on the third one.
Sure did. That's 4 straight possessions scoring for this Georgia team, and they get the ball to start the second half.
Sure what the discussion's about right here is, but Leslie's in for the point after.
Early on the field with a catch and a touchdown. The previous play is under review.
All right, so we'll go back and look at it again. Unless they say Burton didn't hold it long enough, I don't. The throw.
Catches it.
Got both hands on it there. Tucks it in. That's a touchdown by 4 strides.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, it's okay. Got to look at it. Job ripped it out of there at the end. But he had taken 2 steps and had 4 feet down by the time.
You could tell Burton was over there going, no, I caught it. I caught it. He was telling the coach, I know I caught it. So from 4th or 5th string walk-on quarterback.
After further review, going on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
To dealing Bryant-Denny Stadium against the #2 team in the country. What a story that is, huh?
Not kidding. They call him the mailman because of the funky hat he wore to all the passing camps around the country, trying to find somebody that give him a chance to play quarterback in a big-time program. Had to walk on at Georgia, transfer to a junior college, come back to Georgia on scholarship. Now he's the man of the #3 team, and he's got his team in front. What will be 24-17. If Bob Lesney hits the extra point. And he does. 66-yard drive in 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Jermaine Burton, the freshman. Kirby Smart trying to beat his old boss at his own game. Up a touchdown late in the second. An impressive drive by Georgia to go 66 yards in 12 plays. They cap it with Stetson Bennett's second touchdown of the game. Jalen Waddle waits on the kick. Georgia wants to keep it out of his hands, if at all possible, and they've been able to with Jake Kamara kicking it out of the back of the end zone, which he does again this time.
We talked about it. Strike one right here. Darnell Washington, the tight end, he had him. Yeah, just a little bit of communication. Quarterback thinks he's staying. Receiver keeps going. Then he's got him again. This time Burton overthrows it, but he gets 3 swings. And on the 3rd swing, he hits it.
Big drive by the Dogs to take the lead, and they'll get the ball to start the 3rd quarter, remember?
Remember, the last 2 times they had leads against Alabama and couldn't put Alabama away.
All the Georgia fans just thought of you and said, too soon. Najee Harris got to the outside. He goes for almost 15 before he sits down with 16 seconds remaining in the half. Alabama with 2 timeouts. Waddle a little bit coming to the sideline. Not sure if he got hurt trying to block out there.
That's usually what happens. He got stepped on right at the end of the play. Najee Harris takes to the left side of your screen. You'll see Waddle blocking. Kind of steps on his heel, I think, right there.
Friendly fire. Najee got him right there.
On his toe. Stepped on his toe.
Najee, don't stub my toe. Well, hopefully he's going to be okay to go. He's a huge part of their passing game, obviously. Slade Bolden's going to come in right now to take his spot at wide receiver. Got 4 receivers ready to go, including Forrestall. Mac Jones drops, got pressure, but got it complete to Forrestall. And now timeout.
Get up and ground this one.
I thought he was going to call timeout. He looked to the sideline.
I think I would have taken a grounding play right there so the field was open. But 10 seconds to go. You get one more throw and you can ground it after the next one. Looking for a field goal here to get out of the half. Complete back shoulder throw to the top of the screen.
Forrestall with a big catch. Forrestall, who high school was a quarterback until a guy named Trevor Lawrence kind of came into his own, and I think he's doing okay for himself.
Came into his own today again, didn't he?
I only watched till halftime. He had 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. I quit watching. Top-ranked Clemson put up 73 in Atlanta today. Waddle's back in there. Forrestall's back in motion. 10 seconds left of the half. Mac Jones getting some heat. Throws over the middle and it's caught, and It's a first down at Swaddle.
3 seconds. They do have time to ground it. 3 seconds is the limit.
They get it stopped. Najee Harris is going, hey, you got to give us a chance. Kirby Smart saying, let's head to the locker room, boys.
I don't know. It seemed like they started it fast. Were the down markers even ready?
Nick Saban
the field was the time expired and the pass was through. The previous play is in review.
Well, Georgia's whole team is over in the tunnel right now as Ken Williamson is going to head over.
Nick is saying the 3-second rule, and we didn't get a chance to ground it. The clock started really fast. Will they give him the 1 second?
Here comes Georgia back out of the tunnel. Well, we got guys going all over the place.
After further review, 1 second was left when the pass was incomplete.
Gene Steratore, second left, huh?
Yes, Brad, 3 seconds we can spike. We just have to see when the football made contact with the ground. In this case, there was 1 second, so you can't spike under 3 seconds. But if 3 solid seconds are on the clock, I can spike the football, and we have to stop the clock for a first down. So the clock is stopped correctly. First down in bounds.
This would be a career long for Will Reichard. 52-yard field goal attempt with 1 second left.
Georgia has a timeout.
And Kirby's going to use it. And let Will Reichard think about it a little bit longer. Reichard had a 49-yarder last year. And he'll walk around and try to not think about it here. As Gary said, big swing, man. If you can get a field goal before halftime after Georgia scored basically with, what was it, 23 seconds left when they got their touchdown. So part of the Georgia team's in the tunnel. The other part's over on the sideline. Gene Steratore again. Gene, they got it stopped with a second.
Yes, and replay has to get involved there, Brad, because what you've got is a down player inbounds, right? So we don't really start the clock until they set the down marker for the next first down. And the officials get the football ready for play and get to a place where they are in position to officiate. So you've got all those moving parts happening, and then you've got to look at replay to make sure it's a full 1 second whenever it was spiked.
And here's the 52-yard field goal attempt by Reichard, and he just tucked it inside the left upright. Career long for Will Reichard. Big kick for Bama, as now everybody can head to the locker room. A 41-yard drive in 5 plays and 23 seconds. And Will Reichard right there as the shadow went across the left upright. And Nick Saban says, I told you we had a second left, and now we got 3 more points. Jamie's with Nick Saban.
Coach, did that situation unfold the way you wished it would?
Yeah, I mean, when you have 3 seconds left, you're supposed to be able to clock the ball. If we'd have had 2 seconds, we'd have had to throw Seattle, and we wouldn't be able to kick a field goal. So I thought the players did a good job of executing.
What's getting under the skin of your defense in that first half? How do you fix it?
Well, you know, if we do what we're supposed to do and we execute, we do okay. All right, but we've made too many mental errors. They've done a couple things with number 4 that we got to get straightened out at halftime, which confused our players a little bit. But, you know, we just got to get it fixed.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Number 4 being James Cook, who had an 82-yard touchdown reception, 1 of 2 thrown by Stetson Bennett. End of the half, 24-20. Georgia in front as we head to Adam Zucker and the guys in our New York studio.
All right, Ness, and Georgia up by the number 4 here at halftime. Coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, we'll show you a pair of ranked SEC teams going down and a top 5 team in big trouble tonight after this word from your local station.
Halftime in Tuscaloosa, 3rd-ranked Georgia leads number 2 Alabama 24-20. And now time for a taste of tradition presented by Sonic. Here's Jamie.
These two teams have a great tradition of memorable championship showdowns. We already mentioned the two most recent meetings, but the 2012 SEC Championship was also a classic. Number 3 Georgia jumped to an early lead, but the number 2 Tide were ahead with less than a minute to go. The Dogs were driving but came up short when Chris Conley was tackled on the 5-yard line and time expired. Alabama would go on to win the national title as well.
That was a number 2 against number 3 matchup. That's what we've got here tonight as well. Great game in the first half. Third quarter coming up.
I live for nights like this. It's caught into the hands of John Mechie. Touchdown, Alabama!
Bennett going to go deep. Man's there. Got him on the run, and it's James Cook, and he is gone. 2 of the big plays in the first half. An exciting first half in Tuscaloosa. Just about set to start the third quarter with third-ranked Georgia in front and set to receive the second half kickoff. This one will be taken at the 4. Zamir White broke a tackle, got across the 30, all the way out to the 39-yard line. Nice return. That's where Georgia will go to work on offense as we welcome you back. Brad Nessler with Gary Danielson, Jamie Erdahl on the field. Partner, you take away a couple of ugly interceptions, and it's a heavyweight fight we thought it was going to be.
It really was. Great football players on both sides. The 2 quarterbacks, especially Stetson Bennett coming back, but the 2 offensive lines, the guys they're blocking are legit players. They both had great first halves. And remember I said I loved that last 5 minutes of the half? Yeah. 2 touchdowns and a field goal. That was a good 5 minutes of football.
And now let's look at the first 4 or 5 minutes of the third quarter and see what happens. That could have a big bearing on how things go as Georgia has a 4-point lead and starts offensively in good field position at its own 39-yard line. Kendall Milton in the backfield with Stetson Bennett. Gets the first carry, and Milton broke a tackle up the middle. Nice run. And he got out for about 8 yards as we check in with Jamie.
Well, what did Kirby tell me before this game when I asked him about those fourth quarter comebacks by Alabama in the last 2 matchups? He said, we got to play the first 3 quarters in order to get there. Well, they've taken care of business so far. Kirby pretty calm, cool, and collected coming out of the half. Pleased with the play so far. Worried about some of Alabama's explosive play opportunities, and he's still harping on Stetson Bennett to make smart decisions in the passing game.
He's made some good ones.
I think he's been fabulous decision-making in this football game.
And Milton's got a first down to midfield and actually to the 49 of Alabama. Jordan Battle is back in the battle. Missing the first half because of a targeting foul against Ole Miss in the second half, and he's back on the field, and he made the stop, but not before Georgia got the first down. Bennett's had a couple of batted balls and 1 interception off a deflection that was a batted ball. Other than that, as Gary said, he's been pretty darn good. Looking to throw here. Extra men coming on the rush. He dropped the ball, scooped it back up though. Lost a couple yards.
So sometimes a bull rush can cause a lot of problems. Trey Hill's got his hands full this time. Watch the center. Right on. He just gets pushed right back into the quarterback. Actually pulls back. Could have got called for holding on the play.
That was Christian Barmore who bull rushed him. Barmore was the guy that jumped off sides.
And he almost got he caused the fumble right there after the bull rush. Yeah,
he also jumped off sides out there on 4th and goal.
He's got to make up for it.
Zamir White back in the Georgia backfield is there on their side of the 50 now. And Zamir White gets the carry. Bounces off one guy, taking some would-be tacklers with him. Inside the 45 to the 44 as we look at the first half game trends. Mac Jones numbers 224 and 2. Stetson Bennett 177 and 2, including an 82-yard touchdown pass to James Cook. And as Gary said, look at that last 5:42 of the first half. That's where we are. Georgia's got their first third down of the third quarter. Third down at 5. Bennett's going to move Jermaine Burton in a little tighter. He threw him a touchdown pass late in the quarter. Bennett scans a field down the middle, and he went to Burton, and he knocked it away.
Beautiful job by the safety that time. Helens coming in there. I think it was Job. Was it Josh Job?
Josh
Got
Job,
it.
yep.
Yes. Beautiful job by Josh Job coming in. It was complete, but he ripped it right after the play got done. They're going fast.
And they're going for it unless Alabama's going to take a timeout. Georgia lined up to go for it on 4th and 5. I don't think Coach Saban wanted to use that timeout right there. We'll take it with him. We're only about a month away from a very special autumn in Augusta. It's a tradition unlike any other. Coverage of the Masters this November on CBS. Well, after the timeout taken by Alabama, I didn't think Georgia was going to go on 4th and 5. Gary, here's the punting unit.
They were not, but they stole a timeout away from Alabama, so it was good to fake going for it.
Camarda, kind of an end-over-end job to try to force a fair catch by Waddle, who takes it at the 10-yard line. Let's take a look at our GMC game changers.
So to give you an idea how tough it is to gain yards, and Alabama's gained a lot of yards, this Georgia defense is athletic, and they made a lot of good plays. Can you imagine if they weren't as good as they are? Because they make you block them. They're coming at all different angles, and you better be prepared. Alabama was. They put a lot of yards, almost, what, 300 yards, 298 yards in the first half. But it's not easy against this defense.
So Georgia doesn't get anything out of their first possession of the third quarter other than field position, as Alabama has to work from its own 10. Number 10 comes up firing, and a nice rocket, and complete to who else? Devontae Smith, first down.
Again, what have I always talked to you about, Ness? You know, you can live with the slant pass, okay? If they do it this well, tip your hat to them. What you can't live is them catching it and running 40 yards afterwards. Again, that's about as good as you can do on defense. Give the offense credit for a good pitch and catch.
Pick up of a little over 12. Play action. Jones being chased out of the pocket, throws on the run. No man's land there, incomplete. As he was getting heat from Devontae Wyatt. Mack looks like he's limping a little bit.
Yes, he was. Right at the end of that play, too.
There comes the big fella, and he took him down clean on the sideline. And that was not a good landing. Looks like he grabbed his right hip, maybe.
Didn't he?
Stays in, second down and 10. Quick throw out in the flat. Devontae Smith got the edge. And another first down. Got a block out there on the edge.
And interesting, the little things a coordinator can do. Steve Sarkisian knows his quarterback is hurting, so give him an easy throw. Buy time for him to get healthy again.
And Waddle's the guy that got the block on the edge. And another first down.
And
Devontae Smith.
Plays, you got to see it all. And he saw the limp, and he called him a kind of a rest play.
Smith's over 100 yards receiving now. That's Waddle, incomplete. Looking for a flag, and there comes one. Might be a holding call.
I saw Waddle turn around right away and look at the officials. Did he think he was being held? That's all I can think of.
Against an eligible receiver, number 2 of the defense. That penalty is 10 yards from the previous spot and includes an automatic first down.
Richard LeCount caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Right.
It was on Waddle right there. And when you got those safeties match up against those speed guys, they have a tendency to grab.
There's so much for bad field position for Alabama. They're already out to the 47-yard line for the first down by penalty. Back to Najee Harris. Oh, man. Some hitting going on in there.
Sure is.
Quay Walker and Julian Rochester bring him down, but got a decent run.
So when we talk about talent on the field, remember, since Kirby's gone to Georgia, it has either been Georgia or Alabama that has had the #1 recruiting class. They've been taking turns each year.
Yep.
Number 1 Georgia, number 1 Alabama. And in the last 4 drafts, Alabama has had at least 9 players taken. In the last 3, Georgia's had 20 players taken.
It's the kind of talent we're looking at right now here in Tuscaloosa tonight. Second down at 6. Mac Jones throws, got Najee Harris. There will be another #1 draft choice. First down.
Look how smart Najee Harris is. He realizes he doesn't want to get to the safety. He knows right away he's open, and he doesn't want to get too deep. He kind of throttles it down, gives the quarterback both numbers, and lets it throw him right at him.
First down at the Georgia 39. Two tight ends, Jalen Waddle in motion. Play action bootleg, pump fake, and a little shorty to Waddle. And he's only going to get a yard or so.
There's 4 Bulldogs right there when he catches it. The pursuit coming from all different angles.
Jermaine Johnson and Lewis Seen on the stop.
And that's how you keep them from getting those short passes, long runs after the catch.
Keep things in front of you. Hard to do with these receivers, man.
Yeah.
It's Waddle's 5th catch. So probably another night of at least 2 wide receivers for Alabama going over 100 yards. Najee Harris tripped himself up a little bit and got inside the 35 to the 34. Alabama looking to go hurry up. Georgia trying to get in position on 3rd down and 4. Jones pumps once, waited too long, and got buried.
Well, it really seemed to me that time that the Alabama receivers were not on the same page at all. Jones was ready to throw for the first down, and I don't think Forrestall, number 87, thought, and you could see it, Mac Jones, they went fast, and I don't think they were on the same page. Look at Forrestall. He had the open route, and he kind of ran himself into coverage on the play.
Kobe Dean was knowing where he was heading.
Absolutely. You go fast sometimes, and you go too fast for your own good on that play.
We'll have to punt. Sam Johnson had a couple of mediocre punts. This one, he just wants to get down around the 10, which is about where he did. Kearis Jackson takes it at the 9-yard line. So Georgia's defense stiffens when it needed to. Kobe Dean and company giving it back to their offense with a 4-point lead. The Home Depot SEC on CBS, sponsored by Ford. The Home Depot. Sonic. And by Progressive.
I just want to show you how sometimes you can run yourself right into coverage. They go fast. He wants Forrestall to stop right on the 30. He's ready to throw right there. If he turns around, he's ready to throw the football. See him, and then it's too late. He comes out. Oh, I had it. Watch how frustrated he is. He knew by holding the ball, he kept it right into a sack.
Good punt, though, has put Georgia inside its own 10-yard line to start this possession. Zamir White deep, the tailback behind Stetson Bennett, who's under center. Worst starting field position of the night. Zamir White will try to help that cause. Got it out around the 13. Georgia's offensive line last year had 2 #1 draft choices in the NFL, so they've had to put that offensive line back together. Maybe not quite as bulky, but they've done a good job tonight for their quarterback.
Yeah, lost 4 out of the 5. One's at Tennessee, and the other one's playing for the Dolphins.
Pile moves out to around the 17 or 18-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down.
Zamir White looks like a new guy out here tonight, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Running very aggressively. It helps when you're not hurting.
Yeah. And he got dinged up a little bit on that bad snap from center that went in the end zone that Tennessee recovered for a touchdown as he was trying to recover it. And he was injured a little bit on that.
If you take the sacks out of the game, Georgia's averaging almost 5 yards per rush attack.
They'll take that.
Yep.
3rd and 2. First down. Zamir White out to the 21. We talked about the quarterback comparison a little bit ago. Here's an update for you. Both with 2 touchdowns and an interception.
And both of the interceptions were rather odd. One off of a pass rush by Mac Jones, and the other off of a tip pass.
Bennett reception. Down the middle, Burton's got it complete. Pick up of 15.
How about this true freshman football player for Georgia? Got himself into the starting lineup. Good route runner. Gets to the top of his stem. See how he straightened up Joe that time? Got him up to the top. Made sure he straightened it up. 90-degree cut. And squares it in for the quarterback.
Freshman out of California in the starting lineup. That's kind of rare. He's done a great job through a month of the season. Here's an end around to Burton. Nobody out there to block for him. And they're trying to rip the ball out of his hands. He hangs on.
That was well defended by that Alabama defense. That's the same look that they ran the reverse against Tennessee for about 40 yards. Unbalanced line to the right. They come back the other way, and Alabama keeps it to a minimal gain.
Josh Joe does a nice job to stay home. James Cook back in for Georgia. He's had a couple big plays, including a long touchdown reception. Second down at 6. Blitz off the corner. Cook's going the other way. Blockers in front. Steps out of bounds around the 41 or 42-yard line. Trey Hill, the center, was trying to lead the way out there.
When you're the end man on the line of scrimmage like Will Anderson was that time, you got to eat those blockers on that play. And he did a good job of getting out, getting in front of the big pulling offensive lineman and making the stop.
Third down at 4, low snap. They fake the pitch. Dennis has got to get rid of this. Actually threw a strike to Pickens. He's short of the first down by about 2 yards.
Good job by Pickens to come back to help his quarterback. But you're right, running full speed to the right like that, giving up yardage. Bennett made a really good throw.
I'm not so sure his tight end wasn't the intended guy there, but he fell down as he ran out of his pattern, and he got it out to Pickens, who came back to the ball, but it's still a punting situation for Camarda, who's kept Jalen Waddle from returning anything. Fair catches tonight by Jalen. Camarda hit this one a mile in the air. And another fair catch. Boy, that's a weapon to have when you got a good punter. And he hits another good one and keeps Jalen Waddle from any kind of return. Some of the great memories and faces in this series. It's in his 70th meeting, and it's a good one in Tuscaloosa. A week ago, Devontae Smith tied a single game record with 13 catches, and he's right back at it tonight, Garrett.
Yes, he is, and he's smart, he's disciplined, he's patient, and he understands how to be a pass receiver and let his quarterback have room. But then all of a sudden, he turns up for the big play. He can do it all, and he blocks too. Very, very unselfish football player.
Alabama works from the 9. Ryan Robinson got a yard. That's it. As we get a Jeep update in New York, and here's Zook.
All right, Ness, number 5, North Carolina. We told you they were down 31-7 at Florida State, 31-15 when Sam Howell finds Bo Corrales, 33 yards, failed the 2-point conversion, but they're within 10 heading to the fourth quarter.
North Carolina ranked 5th coming back in that game. Here it's number 2 against number 3. And right now number 3's got a 4-point lead. Jones puts his man in motion. Looks that way, wants to go deep, and will. Waddle has got it on the run, and he's gone. Jalen Waddle. Touchdown. You can't fall down against a guy that fast, among other problems.
So Alabama puts one man in motion. Georgia bumps down one player, and then Waddle turns on the Jets. When they cross the receivers, Georgia has to switch again, and that's when they lose the leverage. I got to say honestly what I was going to tell you. I got to own up. I was going to say, you know what? Both defenses have been a little bend but don't break here.
Just had a break. A 91-yard drive, but the majority of it is on one long shot from number 10 to number 17. And just like that, Alabama regains the lead at home. Jalen Waddle from 90 yards out Tomorrow on 60 Minutes, Vladimir Putin's main rivals recovering from being poisoned, and Leslie Stahl asks him who did it. Plus, Dr. Anthony Fauci shares insight into what Americans should expect next from the pandemic. That's tomorrow, 60 Minutes on CBS. It's going to be fun to see what the next 60 minutes of this football game holds for us, even though there's 19 minutes of game time on the clock, as Alabama is back in front. And a little whistle. I don't know if the officials weren't ready for the kick.
They were listening to the 60 Minutes promo. We're not ready.
Leslie Stahl asked Ken Williamson who did it. All right, let's try it again, I guess.
Hopefully we'll have time to show you one more time the beautiful design on this play for the touchdown to Waddle.
That's Kearis Jackson wearing number 30 on kick returns instead of his number 10 as a wide receiver. If you're a Georgia fan wondering who number 30 is. And here is number 30 from the 5. Kearis Jackson weaving his way. Nice return to about the 29-yard line, and we take you back to the touchdown.
Look at the design. They know Georgia is running combo routes. So watch. Devontae Smith goes in motion, and then the receivers cross. And look what happens to Tyreek Stevenson, number 7, and Tyrone Campbell, number 3. They switch the route, and then all of a sudden he's beat. Once they switch, Tyson Campbell can't get back in phase. Give credit to play design. Great players, yes. Good throw. But Steve Sarkisian designed a beautiful route right there.
Even if Tyson Campbell doesn't stumble, I think that's still a touchdown. But
might be.
Georgia at the 29. Benson Bennett loads, fires deep near sideline. He's got his man Burton again. And Burton out of bounds at the 35. Big pickup on first down.
Well, you know what? Alabama has a wheel route. Georgia has a wheel route. Remember Devontae Smith catching the wheel? Here's the wheel the other way. And when you peek into the backfield, you can get beat. And that's exactly what happened that time to Helms, number 29. He peeked at the quarterback, and Burton went right past him.
36-yard pass play to the 35 of Alabama. James Cook straight up the middle. Cook's got great speed. He's going to get a first down at the 25, maybe the 24.
Boy, I'll tell you, this play calling and the blocking up front. Ben Cleveland, number 74, again seals his man off. What a football game he's having.
Bennett pump fakes one way, retreats, and does the smart thing. Throws it away. Christopher Allen was giving chase.
You know, you can't keep your eye on everybody, but Trey Hill and Ben Cleveland are having a night here on the offensive line for Georgia. The quarterback of that offensive line, the only returning starter, Trey Hill, calling out all the blocking assignments, and the big fellow next to him, Ben Cleveland. Those two guys have been brilliant.
As you look right behind Trey and Bennett and Zamir White on the 2nd and 10. White in motion out of that backfield. Bennett gonna lob one intended for Pickens. He and Patrick Surtain were tied up over there, incomplete.
Well, that's good against good. Patrick Surtain is the best they have, probably one of the top 2 or 3 corners in all of college football. Tough matchup here, perfect phase, gets his hand on him, he turns into him and looks for the ball.
Looked like they were doing a little dozy-do out there.
That's right, and the dozy-do is a win for the defense.
3rd down. Quick snap. Bennett has time. Deep middle. Ricocheted and intercepted. Malachi Moore coming back the other way. Still on his feet. At the 40. Out to the 44-yard line. Another ricochet interception.
Well, we all know Stetson Bennett loves to throw the ball over the middle, between the hash marks. He's trying to hit Burton on the square end. There's the throw. Just too high and too wide. It gets tipped, And there's a lot of defenders when that happens. Burton reaches as far as he can, and that one's on the quarterback.
Malachi Moore, the true freshman, his second interception of the season, and a return of 42 yards out to the 44-yard line.
Missed him by about 2 yards high, and well, maybe a yard high and 2 yards wide.
Great opportunity here for Alabama, having scored the last touchdown, to add to it. Devontae Smith in motion. Mac Jones all day to throw. Fires Forrestal, the tight end, and he's got a first down at the 45-yard line.
Great job by Mac Jones not throwing the ball to Najee Harris. He's going to see the defender out here just waiting on the throw, Stokes. And when he waits and waits, he takes the secondary player.
And now flea flicker is caught by Devontae Smith. Yes, it is. As we get another look. Looked like he cradled it, or did it hit the ground? It was underthrown a little bit. Alabama's going, hurry up. It's not going to matter now. Najee Harris weaving his way for 2 or 3. There was a handoff to Najee Harris. Flipped it back to Mac Jones, and this was the end of the play. That looks good to me. I think
he had his right hand underneath it. Yep. Remember, the replay official, no matter how fast Alabama goes, has the right to stop the game if he wants to.
2nd down and 7. Alabama can get a first down at the 1-yard line. Waddle on the move. Both ways. Jones will flip it to him. That's a lateral. He's going to get dropped for a loss. Richard LeCount, nice open field tackle.
Waddle went both ways, and then he went the opposite way at the end of it.
Both ways and then backwards.
And LeCount was right there to eat him up.
Boy, if Georgia can hold Alabama to a field goal here, it'd be huge. They've done it before down here in the red zone. So after the loss on the play, it's 3rd down and 9. Stetson Bennett looking on, hoping that his interception doesn't cost Georgia too dearly. With a minute to go in the 3rd. Jones lobs to the corner. Devontae Smith covered by Stokes. There are no flags, or are there? No, there. Yes, there is. I didn't see it.
Tough matchup. Stokes squeezes him off.
Pass interference.
Oh,
defense number 27.
I don't agree with
Foul
that.
occurred in the end zone. Therefore, by rule, the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line with an automatic first down.
Well, I didn't see that as interference. I thought he squeezed him off well. I'd love to get Gene's opinion on this one.
Gene, what do you think?
I have to agree with Gary on it. They get into a snuggle with some hand fighting, but that receiver is taking himself toward the out of bounds and feels like he's happy to be there, and the D-back is happy to squeeze him to the sideline.
Yeah,
that was my take on the play as well.
Right.
Najee Harris, touchdown, Alabama. From 2 yards out.
That was a 4-point decision because Alabama would have had to kick the field goal. It would have been 4th down. We saw the Georgia offensive line do it. Now 1st and goal from the 2. The big guy, Landon Dickerson, right there, number 69. Does not get turned, snaps the ball, and stays on his man to get the crease.
What a turnaround in the last couple of minutes for Alabama. Reichert in for the point after. Up and good. They were down by 4 at halftime. They're up by 10 as we near the end of the 3rd quarter. That ball tipped a little bit, skipped off the intended receiver's hands. Malachi Moore brought it back 42 yards, and then the interference in the end zone by Stokes put it at the 2-yard line. Najee Harris says, I know what to do with it from there. And he scores to put Alabama in front by 10. A 14-point quarter for Alabama with 51 seconds left in the 3rd. Now they got a 10-point lead. Here's Jackson will take it from the 6-yard line. Jackson trying to get to the edge on the near side. Kearis Jackson. And he got out about what he did last time, out to the 38-yard line, as we go back to our New York studios for a Heisman Watch presented by Nissan.
All right, Ness, Trevor Lawrence doing it again, leading Clemson to their highest scoring road game in over 100 years, playing just over a half against Georgia Tech. 5 touchdowns in the first half, as well as an interception. We also offer you Zach Wilson's 400 yards and 4 touchdowns from last night against Houston. Back to you.
All right, Adam, thanks. First rushing touchdown by running back against Georgia since Josh Jacobs.
And we were there for that one. Remember, that was that fumble play into the end zone?
Oh, yeah, that's right. 14 straight points in the last 3 minutes and change. Georgia now needs an answer desperately.
And Georgia has been running the ball effectively. Bennett's best.
First down.
Bennett is best when he's using the whole offense together. He can't get in a shootout right here. They're running the ball well enough. Doesn't mean you have to run it every play, but stay in balance.
Delay of game is not a good penalty after a kick return. 1st and 15. Play action, Bennett loads, going deep. Man's there, just overshot Burton. And boy, he is going after number 7 tonight.
One of those opportunities in the slot. 3-on-2 coverage. He's got what he wants. 2 yards too far.
Yep. He's had a few that were 2 yards too far, and he'd love to pull a string on that one a little bit better. And it might have been a touchdown. 35 seconds remaining in the quarter. 2nd and 15. Aaron Johnson in motion. Keep it on the ground. Zamir White broke 1 tackle.
He looks the real deal out here tonight, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Out to the 42. Well, we've talked about this for a long time. Nick Saban against his former assistant coaches. He added one more to the list last week when he beat Lane Kiffin. He's 2-0 against Kirby Smart. There's been 21 times they've had a chance to topple the king. And as the quarter comes to a close, Kirby Smart knows he's 10 points down, and he might become victim number 22. We played 3 at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Score: number 2, Alabama 34. Number 3, Georgia 24. We'll return to Tuscaloosa right after this message and a word from your local station. Back at Bryant-Denny Stadium, 4th quarter. Just about set to start, and the home team in front now, 34-24. And Georgia with a 3rd down and 6 to open the quarter from their own 42. Bennett's in trouble. Got away momentarily. Throws on the run, and it's intercepted. Picked off in the secondary by Alabama. And it's Daniel Wright. And another key mistake to open the 4th quarter for Georgia.
After being so good in the first half, 5 for 9 on 3rd down, they're now, if this flag is not against Alabama, they'll be 1 for 5 on.
During the return, block in the back, intercepting team number 31. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. 1st down.
So they keep the interception. They'll just back up the return.
I don't even know who he was throwing the ball to on that one. I thought he was going to throw it deeper downfield, but I'm not sure where it was going to. Good job by Kirby hanging with his quarterback.
Yep.
So he lets the ball go. I thought he was going to throw it real deep. I'm not exactly sure. It was like 20 yards deep, short of where the ball needed to go. I don't know what he saw or was looking at.
He's probably wondering right now too.
I don't know if he got. I had my eyes in the second. I don't know if he got hit when he let the ball go, but it did not go anywhere near a Georgia receiver.
He had come into this game having not thrown an interception, and now some costly ones. And Najee Harris on the edge, and flags fly in at the end of that run. Going to negate maybe if
There's a holding call on Alabama. Another good run. Forrestal was out there on the edge.
He was. It looked like it most likely was him. He was on the edge blocking on the play.
There's Forrestal on Richard.
Holding on the offense, number 87. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
He saw Najee come over and say, hey man, thanks for the block. Don't worry about it. We'll get it back.
Wanted to take a peek at maybe Bennett got hit when he let the ball go, and that's why it didn't have anything on it.
Just running for his life.
Yeah, he was just running and didn't get enough on it. Maybe 10 to 15 yards short on the throw.
Harris get close to midfield before everybody stood up. They never do get him down.
This Georgia defense now, with the after the penalty, can really get their team back in the game. A stop here is almost mandatory.
Remember, Georgia had the lead at halftime. They opened the third quarter with a decent drive. Didn't get any points. And then Alabama's going to work. Mac Jones closing in on 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. And looking for more here. Deep ball. And another penalty flies in. Waddle going head-to-head over there with Tyreek Stevenson.
And that's a matchup they like. Tyreek Stevenson is a safety-type player. And against Waddle, that's a tough matchup. He grabs. We talk about it all the time. Those safeties don't feel comfortable in those situations.
Holding against an eligible receiver, number 7 of the defense. The penalty is 10 yards for the previous spot and includes an automatic first down.
Remember earlier in the game when Georgia had the matchup outside and they threw against the linebacker. It seems like anytime they can get number 7 on Waddle, well, Waddle on almost anybody's a good matchup.
I was going to say, Stevenson's going, come on, a guy runs a 4.35. I'm going to grab his rear end if I can.
But you can tell that Alabama has circled that as somewhere they want to attack.
First down at the 40. Najee Harris, second effort. Hard yards again. Let's check in with Jamie.
Well, Kirby Smart told us Najee is one of the hardest guys to tackle in our league, and he really thrives in Steve Sarkisian's system. Sark would agree. The team jokes that the two have a California connection. He loves coaching Najee Harris. He said, I did tell him I need a little bit more feel out of you coming out of the backfield. He feels like his instincts really started to show up last week, and they need to tap into his versatility as he progresses through this season.
Well, he's versatile now because he's become a big weapon as a receiver. He's over 100 yards again. 5 yards a pop tonight. Got 5 on that one. Cuts back and gets 3 on that carry. Third down and 2.
That play was designed to go to the outside to the right, and it broke back all the way outside the left tackle. Not a huge play, but a successful play.
Najee said there's things he wanted to work on, becoming a more complete player. He has also wanted to work on leadership. He said, I'm not the most vocal guy in the world, but I'm getting there with that too. I said, I'm telling you, I think leading by example is pretty good. Here he comes. Waits for his blockers, gets a first down.
Big Alex Leatherwood that time. Nice personal protector, isn't he? Quick pitch to the outside. Watch Leatherwood come around the outside. He's got big 70.
He's going to be the next guy that's a high draft choice off the offensive line.
For sure. He played right tackle last year. Now left tackle, taking the spot.
So this drive is just what the doctor ordered for Alabama. They're using clock. They're down to the 29 of Georgia. Vontae Smith in motion. Motion comes back the other way to Brian Robinson. And he gets it to the 25, the 24 actually. Nolan Smith brought him down there. And we're at the 12-minute mark.
Yes, we talked about what a good deep thrower Mac Jones was. Well, there's more evidence of it. Look at that. He's thrown 7 deep balls pretty successfully, hasn't he? Only 2 incompletions.
And pretty good all over the field.
But those deep ones count big time.
Big time. Harris into the middle of the pile for a couple.
Holding Alabama to a field goal here would be huge, keeping it in a 2-score game.
The need to stop a 3rd and 3. 3rd and 3 or less today. They're 75%. I'll just give it to number 22 again.
Look at that power. He's skipping. He's waiting. He's patient. And as Jamie just said, it's no fun tackling him when he gets there. Watch him skip, and go. That is some skill right there.
Not kidding.
And he's taking clock off this game.
Approaching the 10-minute mark. Georgia changes up its defense.
Yes, we talked about how well Trey Hill was blocking on the right side of the Georgia line. Well, the left side of the Alabama line pretty good as well.
First down at the Dogs 14. This time they wrap up Najee, but he still eked out a yard. And it'll be under 10 minutes on the next snap. He's going to come out and get a breather, I think, bring in Brian Robinson, and a well-deserved breather. 120 yards on 25 carries for Najee Harris.
Alabama also bringing in an extra offensive lineman right there, Kendall Randolph. Part-time 60, part-time 85 is lined up as a left tight end right here.
Move the other tight end Forrestall into the slot. 2nd down and 9. Mac Jones, pressure coming from behind, allowed to the end zone. Devontae Smith, touchdown. Are you kidding me? Jeez. That is some grace.
Just a spectacular football player. Came back for another year. Could have turned pro. And look at him grab that ball. Goes up, a contested play. Good defense by Stokes. Can't do much better than that. And let's add one more thing. A perfect throw.
Perfect throw. That was so similar to his catch against A&M in the back of the end zone. We saw him earlier this year.
That ball had to be thrown high. Couldn't lead him out of bounds. Stokes is right in the coverage. And an All-American goes up and shows you why he's one of the best football players in college football.
Well, last week, 13 catches, over 160 yards. Today, 10 catches, 160 yards, and an acrobatic 2nd touchdown. Our game recap from Tuscaloosa tonight. Alabama with the lead. Bulldogs got cooking with James Cook. Long ball, 82-yard touchdown from Stetson Bennett. And it's Devontae Smith in the corner, his first of 2 touchdowns. Before the buzzer, Jermaine Burton caught a touchdown pass. Alabama came back to get a long field goal before the break. And then Jalen Waddle from 90 yards out from Mac Jones. And all of a sudden an explosion, including Devontae Smith from 13 yards out moments ago. And Alabama has run out to a 41-24 lead with 9:32 to play. Kick goes to Zamir White at the 10. White crossed the 30 out to about the 32-yard line. Let's take you back to the last touchdown.
Remember when we talked about Najee Harris being such a great pass protector? Well, Brian Robinson's in right here, and I think he blocks the wrong guy. He goes inside and turns loose the edge rusher. Mac Jones very fortunate to get it off. When you've got one of those pass blockers, you like your #1 guy in there because he just turned loose. Jameer Johnson, number 11, and he took a hard hit on the throw.
I don't think Mac ever saw the catch for the touchdown, but he'll take it. 21 straight points by Alabama, and they have turned all 3 Georgia interceptions into touchdowns.
Jermaine Johnson says one step earlier than he had it.
And again, a batted ball. And that time it's Malachi Moore, who had an interception earlier.
Coming off the slot, jumps, gets his right hand on it.
Gary, Georgia ended the first half with a touchdown, a field goal, and a touchdown. This half, it's punt, interception, interception.
And a lot of it's been 3rd down, and they've been forcing it on 3rd down.
Throw completes out to Burton, trying to stretch it out for, I guess, 3 yards. I bet your pardon, that's Pickens. Who has not been a factor.
And as Coach Saban told Jamie at half, is we got to work out a few things, find out where number 4 is, but give him credit. The second half, as Brad just told you, 2 interceptions, but forced 2 punts as well.
Number 4 is in the slot on the left side. Cook runs a crossing route, but the pass is down the middle and caught by Kearis Jackson. First down, Georgia in Alabama territory at 46.
Really good pass protection. That thing took about 4 seconds to throw the ball, and he had time to step onto it and make the delivery.
Threw it right past the umpire's ear, complete to Jackson. As we're under 8.5 minutes. Georgia wasting a little bit of time here. Time is of the essence at the 8-minute mark. Bennett. And again swatted down at the line of scrimmage, and it's Barmore again, the big number 58.
What do you think Alabama worked on all week?
Batting down passes with a 5'11" quarterback. I guess.
Exactly. They saw how many passes Stetson Bennett completed over the middle of the field. They worked on it. And when you push up the middle, get that paw up in the air.
That's the 4th batted down pass in the game. Second down and 10. Milton in motion out of the Georgia backfield. Bennett gonna go down. Drop back at the 47-yard line. Christopher Allen got to him. There is a flag.
I think Alabama's going to get called for holding outside on the wide receiver.
Flag's way back at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, I think Job is going to get called.
Holding on the defense, number 28. The penalty is 10 yards from the previous spot and will result in a first down.
The holding on Job against Pickens. Little woofing going on after the play. But it does net Georgia a first down. At the Alabama 36, Cook motions out of the backfield. Bennett fires, got a man wide open, the tight end. Actually, it's a wide receiver. Rosamond Jack Saint. He's as big as a tight end.
He is. Another one of those big, young receivers against the zone. You break it out of that soft spot between the corner and the safety.
18-yard pickup to the 18. And swarmed under is James Cook. Christopher Allen, another nice play by number 4.
Trying to run the counter, but this time the Alabama defense is crashing and catching it from behind.
That backs it up to the 22. It'll be 7 minutes or less on this next snap.
DJ Dale wanted off the field, and everybody said, "Get back out here."
He's still.
I think he's gassed too.
Number 94. He does line up before the snap as Bennett drops to throw. Down the middle, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. Broken up. It was Kearis Jackson and Christian Harris was covering. Now he's going to get out of there.
Yep, they get both of the big guys inside out, Barmore and Dale. Dale said, "I was tired last play, Coach."
And now they change things up because it's 3rd down and 14.
And if they don't make it, remember they need 3 scores. You could kick a field goal here. If it's 3rd and very long.
Let's see how much they get on 3rd down and 14. Bennett steps up in the pocket. He's going to run, and he gets it to the 18-yard line. That's where the decision will be made now if they go for the field goal.
I think you got to go field goal. Yep.
Georgia has all 3 of its timeouts. Jack Leslie will come in to try a 35-yard field goal. Out of a Camarda hold. Try to cut the lead to a couple of touchdowns, and he missed it. Oh, it's the last thing they needed. So the score remains the same. 6:05 remaining in the ball game. But Leslie couldn't quite tuck it in there. And Alabama in command with 6 to go. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Verizon, Aflac, GMC, and by Voya Financial. 6 minutes, 5 seconds remaining. Our aerial coverage tonight brought to you by Goodyear. Been a good year so far for Alabama. Looks like they're going to go to 4-0. Unless Georgia can do something about it in the next 6 minutes. Throw Devontae Smith out in the flats. Straight ahead. Takes a couple of Bulldog tacklers with him for a pickup of 7 or 8.
So that's 17 out of the 24 completions have gone to the 2 receivers.
Waddle and Smith.
Yes.
And both over 160 yards.
So you start thinking, so what do you learn from this game? Okay, number one is, I would take away is, how do you stop those 2 guys?
And if you do, you got Mechie to worry about.
And Najee Harris. I mean, yeah, maybe this isn't the most vintage Alabama defense ever, but you know, there hasn't been much of a drop-off at quarterback. Those 2 receivers are doing it. You got Najee Harris. You better come in here ready to play Alabama to score 35 points.
And if Alabama scores 50, it's not going to do you much good. First down run by Harris.
Their offensive line is legit. They can hold the ball. And if you can't really get to Mac Jones early, he's going to find some deep throws on him.
Yeah.
He's a great deep thrower. For Georgia, I think they showed they can run the ball a little bit tonight. And they just got to clean up those mistakes at quarterback.
The turnovers are
going to kill them. Can't beat Alabama with those turnovers.
Not at all, especially not here. Might get another crack at him December 19th in Atlanta. That's what they have to hope for now for Georgia and their fans. They're thinking, okay, we'll get them again. Might. 35 plus in 17 straight games.
I mean, legitimately, there are NFL teams that do not have a first and second receiver as good as these guys.
And of course, 2 of them went to the NFL last year.
Right.
Both first-round picks, Ruggs and Judy. And now they got this guy and Devontae Smith.
And Mechie raises his hand and goes, good too.
Yep. Oh boy, Georgia's getting tired of this guy.
Yeah. And also the score too. They look up, they just lose a lot of heart. And that missed field goal right at the end. They realize, you know, we're talking about what do you learn. They're not dumb. You know, they look up there the same way.
Yeah. So as good as their defense is, some miscues by their quarterback. Not all his fault. He had a good game, especially in the first half.
Yeah, and the way he finished off that half, that 2-minute drive, you know, that field goal at the end was a big field goal for Alabama, just going into the locker room. The way that Bennett finished off that drive was a beauty, and then he comes out the second half and not as well.
Remember, they got that with 1 second left when they spiked the ball. And Nick Saban said, wait a minute, we got 3 seconds. And it ended up being a 52-yard field goal by Reichert, but Stetson cut up the 4th.
Yeah, so that's how we thought he ended the half.
But not quite.
Yeah, there was a field goal after that, and then the tip pass, not a horrible throw. This one, don't quite understand where that was going to, and it all kind of builds up after that.
There'll be better days ahead. They'll just have to regroup.
I think he's earned some money in the bank, though. He's going to get more opportunity to play. I don't see any major switch here. If he does it a couple games in a row, there might be.
Right. And Alabama Keeps running for first downs and chewing up clock. Another first down as we're down at 2:45.
Malecki, or number 55 that time, was on the far side just pulling the player down the field.
There's the big three. As I said, Smith and Waddle both over 160. Mechie at 50 right now.
Mechie goes, watch me in 2021. That's all I got to say.
Well, he already had 180 or whatever when we played it. They played A&M.
Right. I have to say, I was surprised when Devontae Smith came back. When he and Najee came back, Dylan Moses, I think that was a great message to the Alabama football team.
No doubt the leaders. Brian Robinson back up. Georgia still playing hard or trying to. 2 minutes left. So Alabama now goes on the road next week to Tennessee. Tennessee got throttled today. If they play like this, Tennessee might have another tough Saturday. Came in averaging 51 points a game. They've got 41 right now, and they're not really looking for any more other than to run the clock. About the time this guy could break one for a touchdown, which he had 5 of those last week. Oh, wow. All the way to the 36-yard line. Here's what I was talking about. Next Saturday, our usual afternoon slot. Another tough matchup tied into Knoxville. Day starts with college football today at 3 Eastern. Next Saturday, SEC on CBS. Zipper and the guys will start things off, and then Jamie and Gary and I and our crew will be in Knoxville to bring you that one. See if Alabama can go to 5-0 at that point. Not going to lose any ranking today. They'll be number 2.
And this might be the best. Well, this will be the best defense they face all year, and they put over 550 yards on. What are they? 565 against them.
There's the big fellas over there saying, hey,
we believe in you. We'll get them again.
Yep, that's good. Good to see.
Look at Najee going and shaking everybody's hands.
Well, Coach Saban on Wednesday was worried whether he'd even be able to be out here tonight. And not only is he out here, he goes to 22-0 against his former assistant coaches. I don't think he cares much about that. He just wants to win the game. But anyway, we keep talking about it. Kirby's had 3 shots at him and has come up empty 3 times. But a good game, tough game. Outscored Georgia by 3 touchdowns in the second half. And there's the friends at the middle of the field. Mac Jones, another great outing. Not so much in the second half for Stetson Bennett, the 4th. 41-24, number 2 over number 3. We'll have a lot more to talk about when we come back.